Yes, a very good morning to all of you. How are all of you? All good? ऐसे सीए फाउंडेशन हो गया, अब सीए इंटर पे ऐसे सीए वाली फील आ रही है, like all ready for articleship and all. Okay, right. So how many of you have crossed a road with traffic? Right? रास्ता किसने क्रॉस किया है? कल ही किया, रोज किया, अच्छा। तो कैसे, मतलब ऐसे रोड क्रॉस करना होता है, ऐसे माइंड में रहता है कि अभी ये गाड़ियां आ रही है, रोड क्रॉस करना है। फोन पे तो एवरीबडी इज ऑन द फोन, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट। ओके, सो यू जस्ट लाइक यू वांट टू क्रॉस द रोड एंड यू जस्ट स्टार्ट वॉकिंग, और डू यू डू समथिंग? व्हाट डू यू डू? व्हाट डू यू डू? You want to cross the road, so there are vehicles coming and I want to go from this side to the other side, so I just start walking, or do I do something? हाथ से गाड़ी रोकते हैं, ओके, देन ऐसे बोलते रुको 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 रुको, अच्छा, और we take a judgment okay, the car is coming from that side and I have to go from here to here, so by the time the car reaches, whether I will be able to go or whether I should allow the car to go and then I should go. So actually, even while crossing a road, we are doing an audit. Right? We are doing an audit over there. We don't just blindly, just like, okay, I'm walking, so everybody has to stop. No, frauds will come, errors will come. You understand? And we have to check that, we have to be vigilant. We have to be careful over here. Anytime have you helped your mother bringing tomatoes? सब्जी लाने गए हो, टमाटर लाने गए हो, अच्छा। So when you go to buy the tomatoes, you go to the fellow, tell him to give you 1 kg tomato. You allow him to pick up whatever he gives, and then at home you are going to get a कि क्या लेके आए हो. So you check them, are they round, are they red in color, are they not extra squeezed, are they not green, they are proper, and then after that you select. So everywhere we do checking, we do verification, we do examination. It's just that technically when a chartered accountant does it, it is called as audit. You understand? So that is where at the inter level we have a new subject introduced for us, that is the auditing and ethics. In the old syllabus, this particular subject was called as auditing and assurance, but now the subject has been renamed to be called as auditing and ethics. Okay, right? 100 marks and double inverted comma theory subject. Right? Double inverted comma, double underline, bold, italics, font size 50, theory subject. Right? Because it's a different game. When you have to study for a practical subject like costing, DT, like taxes, direct and indirect taxes, accountancy, you know the formats, you know the formulas over a period of time. You solve 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, kitna, 100 questions also. And over a period of time, you become an AI. है ना, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। जब कोई नई एडजस्टमेंट आती है तो फिर फैकल्टी के लिए रुकते हो, तब तक तो मतलब यू आर एबल टू डू इट ऑन योर ओन। बट अगेन, जैसे स्टडिंग अ थियोरी सब्जेक्ट इज अ डिफरेंट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एंड ICAI चेकिंग फॉर अ थियोरी सब्जेक्ट इज ऑल्सो समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट। राइट? हैव यू हर्ड, किसी का एक्सपीरियंस सुना है ऑडिट के बारे में? किसी ने कभी गलती से अच्छा बोला है? राइट? इट्स लाइक द विलन, नो, है ना, ऐसे विलन जैसा उसको बताते हैं। ओके, बट विलन के बिना मूवी में मजा नहीं है। यू अंडरस्टैंड? नो, ओनली इफ देयर इज अ हीरो इन द मूवी, देन इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी। स्टूडेंट्स से मैं, मुझे ना प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मुझे ना प्रैक्टिकल तुम कितना भी करने बोल दो। अब तुम्हें किसी ने पूछा है क्या? Who on earth has asked you? ऐसा कोई ऑप्शन है क्या कि अकाउंटेंसी मुझे 400 मार्क का दे दो और ऑडिट 10 मार्क के लिए पूछ लो? नहीं, आगे चल के what you want to do, that you decide on your own, but right now 100 marks, at least you have a very big comfort over there that 30 marks of the MCQ is there. But MCQ फाउंडेशन में है अभी भी MCQ, है ना? तो ABCD कैसे मन उछलता है, है ना. एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू सिलेक्ट ए तो फिर मन करता है अरे बी ने क्या पाप किया है. सो यू अंडरस्टैंड नो, देन यू थिंक ऑफ बी. फिर एक सीक्वेंस फॉर्म करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि ए बी सी, तो शायद अभी 4 का आंसर डी होना चाहिए. फिर अभी ए बी बी सी सी, तो अब शायद डी डी होना चाहिए. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है ना. देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट. इट्स जस्ट लाइक द क्वेश्चन. एंड देन बहुत होता है कि लाइक यू नो तुम्हें पक्का होता है कि ए और डी तो आंसर है ही नहीं. इट हैज टू बी समथिंग बिटवीन बी एंड सी. एंड देन यू आर फाइटिंग बिटवीन बी एंड सी एंड बी एंड सी. पता चला एक्चुअल आंसर ए और डी में है, or you are fighting between B and C over there, right? So yeah, again MCQ, it's a knack. जैसे हम लोग गाड़ी चलाना सीखते हैं, साइकिल चलाना सीखते हैं, बैलेंसिंग, जितना अपना उसका आर्ट gets better, like that it is solving of the MCQ, right? So audit as a subject requires you to develop some technical understanding of the subject. Like, would you remember that first time when you watched cricket in your life? First time, how old were you that time? 7 years? 7 months? Okay. 7. Okay. So 7 years when you watch cricket for the first time in your life. I'm not asking now when you watch the entire IPL or T20 series. I'm saying for the first time. For the first time in your life when you would have heard somebody saying over. Cricket के context में. No, normally over क्या होता है? खत्म. मतलब it's like over, like you know food is over or the program is over or something is over. But cricket का over क्या होता है? It is the 6 balls which is into, you know, 1 over there, or they say golden duck, or they say LBW. I think you know better terms like third square. You know, third is empire, and then after that some power play and something hat trick. So you know the terms related to that game. You know what is a run out. वो तो मुझे पता भी नहीं. ऑफ साइड का बॉल है, ऑन साइड का है. यहाँ से something, you know, where Gavaskar will be giving the commentary regarding how the cricket is happening. Just imagine, had you not known this terminology related to cricket, would watching the game make any sense to you? कि somebody would have said boundary. अब boundary बोले तो India Pakistan boundary. What you know कि what is 4 runs and what is 6 runs or something over there. कि oh, you know, when the ball, there is a rope which is put on the stadium, and then when it crosses that, it's a 4. How then you start doing the mathematics and everything. So see, say example like this, everybody generally knows the the terms related to cricket. But अगर तुम्हें football या squash या कोई और game के you don't know the rules, will you like watching that particular game? If you don't know the rules, will you feel like out of place over there? You'll say, yeah, what you're seeing, let's change, let's see something else. It's a similar something it is for audit, that we have to work on the terminology of audit. And the biggest rumor about audit, in case if you've heard, the biggest rumor I'm saying, that you can write in your own language. If you write in own language, you get your own marks. You won't get the ICI marks. Right? So very important, we have to stick to the ICAI terminology. And my purpose of the class, like your purpose of attending the class, that I keep on using the terminology of ICAI again and again. Now see, I'm going to introduce the subject the first time to you. So every time a new word comes, immediately we'll pick up that word and discuss in detail. Though later on, wo chapter mein it might come somewhere later. But anyways, when first time we come across a term, immediately we are going to pick up that term and discuss that particular term in detail. Okay. Right. So yes, I will be speaking in English majority of the time in the class. तो ऐसा तो बिल्कुल नहीं है कि मुझे हिंदी नहीं आती है और यान भी नहीं है कि मैंने मारवाड़ी नहीं आवे, है ना? So yes, but because we have to write our exams in English, it is preferred that, you know, if you listen to the subject in English, that is the way it retains in your mind. And then that is how you are able to write in the paper. क्या होता है, हिंदी में पढ़ाने में मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, but हिंदी में सुनोगे तो हिंदी में याद रहेगा, फिर एग्जाम हॉल में हिंदी में याद आएगा, फिर लाइव ट्रांसलेशन, वो बेचारे एग्जामिनर की हालत खराब. You understand, no? तुम्हारा live translation from Hindi into English reading over there. No. So anyways, I tell students, they say, अच्छा मैम आप English में पढ़ाओगे? अरे, I'm telling you, my English is not a Shakespeare English, and neither it is a Shashi Tharoor English. You don't understand what that fellow says. You understand? No, so it is normal, English, which grammatically also it will help you. So normal English. But yeah, anytime you don't get anything, you want me to explain it again, we can certainly do that. Okay, right. When it comes to the class, I do a lot of running notes in the class that I keep on writing. I don't give any ready-made charts or anything. So you have to catch up or match up with my speed of what I am writing over here and what you have to take down in the notes. Not that everything that I write over here has to be in your notes, not like that. But not that nothing is in your books, that she is writing and I'm just listening, not that way. Don't be an extremist. Be in between. Like, if she is writing something over here, making some chart over there, I have to write it simultaneously. I also expect, because it's a theory subject, we have to bring our book to life. So I want you to bring some stationery along with you. Like stationery in the context of some red, blue, green, yellow, pink, orange, whichever color pens you can get, and 1 or 2 markers. But एक बार बच्चे अगर मार्किंग करना शुरू करते हैं ना, उनको बहुत मजा आता है. वो इतना मार्किंग करते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि जो मार्क किया है वो पढ़ना ही है, जो नहीं मार्क किया वो पढ़ना है. So be moderate, okay, be little like, okay, I only have to read what has been marked. So be careful when it comes to marking, but yes, you have to do multitasking. You have to do the marking in the textbook, you have to be writing in the notebook, you have to be listening to me all at the same time. It's not going to happen one after the other. Okay, right now we are listening to her, then we are marking in the book, then we are writing the notes. No. 1-2 दिन थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, अंदाजा लग के थोड़ा आगे पीछे गाड़ी हिल सकती है, but over a period of time you prepare your mind accordingly that you will be able to do all the 3 tasks simultaneously. What are the 3 tasks? Listening to me, which is the most important task for which you've come in the class, right? Second, marking the notes, and third, after that, also whatever notes I'm writing over there, writing down little bit out of that. Okay, right. Then apart from that, you already have the theory. Some MCQs also we'll provide to you later on and so. Okay, right. And now I will first discuss with you what are the chapters which we have in our syllabus, also the pattern of our paper. And then after that, we begin with the chapter number 1. Yes, so all good, everyone? Yes, all good? Okay, right. So let's begin with our discussion regarding the chapters in the syllabus that we have. Okay, right. So we talk about our subject for the CA Inter, which is auditing and ethics, right? Auditing and the ethics, right? In which the first chapter that we have over there is regarding the nature, objective, and the scope of audit, right? So like it's like a chapter on the introduction of auditing, the nature, objective, and scope of audit. Okay, what is an audit? What are the advantages? What is the importance of audit? What are the limitations of audit? What is included in the scope of audit? What is not included in the scope of audit? Audit kahan se aaya? What is the origin of auditing, right? So all that is discussed in the first chapter over there, which is regarding the nature, the objective, and the scope of the audit. Okay, right. Then after that, the chapter number 2 that we have is regarding the audit strategy. Right, so obviously to do an audit, first you have to lay down a strategy to do the audit. Based on the strategy, you prepare your audit plan. Right, so next in that chapter, you have the discussion regarding the audit planning, and then based on the plan, you also prepare your audit program, right? So 3 audits over there: audit strategy, audit planning, audit program. Right, so that is chapter number 2, audit strategy, audit प्लानिंग कि ऑडिट करना है तो प्लान करना पड़ेगा, ऑडिट करने का प्रोग्राम प्रिपेयर करना होगा, राइट? सो दिस इज जस्ट द टाइटल ऑफ द चैप्टर. वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस द चैप्टर इन डिटेल, राइट? सो ऑडिट स्ट्रेटजी, ऑडिट प्लानिंग, ऑडिट प्रोग्राम, दैट इज चैप्टर नंबर 2, राइट? चैप्टर नंबर 3, which is one of the important terms or concepts in audit, which is regarding the risk assessment and the internal control, right? So risk assessment and the internal control, right? So what is risk assessment, what is internal control, we'll come to that, but that is chapter number 3, risk assessment and internal control, right? Then chapter number 4, which is audit evidence, right? Chapter number 4, which is audit evidence, which I can say is the heartbeat of your syllabus, right? Chapter number 4, very important chapter over there, audit evidence. Okay, right. Then after chapter number 4, chapter number 5, which is regarding the audit of the items of the financial statements, right? One of the biggest chapter in the syllabus, audit of the items of the financial statements. Do you understand financial statements? What does it mean? Statement of profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement, SOCE, statement of changes in equity, notes which is technically called as summary of significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. What is there in the balance sheet? Financial position, state of affairs. What is there in the state of affairs? Capital, liabilities and the assets. What is there in the assets? Non-current assets and the current assets. Non-current assets, you have the property, plant, equipment, intangible asset. Then you have the non-current investments. Then after that current, you come to debtors, bills receivable, cash and bank, inventory, all of that. So all this, ये एक item of financial statement उसका audit कैसे करना है, that is discussed in chapter number 5. Okay, how to do the audit of property, plant, equipment, how to do the audit of intangible asset, how to do the audit of the debtor, how to do the audit of the creditor. So that is why the name of the chapter, audit of the items of the financial statement. और देखो ना, अगर ऐसे एक item का audit करना है, so this is going to be the biggest chapter. You understand now? Audit of sales, audit of purchases, audit of other income, audit of other expenses, audit of depreciation, audit of employee benefit expenses. So each and every item of the financial statement. और property, plant, equipment का disclosure का कोई requirement है? PPE, property, plant, equipment. Do you have any disclosure requirement where they are given? Notes to account, but which is the law which talks how the disclosure? Schedule 3. The schedule 3, it gives the format for the preparation of financial statements and also the Ind AS 16 and the AS 10. है ना, the Ind AS 16 and the AS 10. तो disclosure भी check करना है. जब हम audit करते हैं तो disclosure भी check करना है whether disclosure is given as per the requirements of schedule 3 to the Companies Act. Right, so each and every disclosure, each and every audit, that is chapter number 5, audit of the items of the financial statement, right? So each and every item of the financial statement. Okay, right. एक तो हमें audit सोच के करना होता है ना, कि कैसे audit करे, क्या check करे, कुछ गड़बड़ है क्या, ऐसे सोच के करना होता है, which is called as a thinking audit. And second, you know, in audit they say that work not documented is work not done. तुम बोलते हो अरे आज तो मैंने बहुत audit किया, oh today I did a lot of work, but if you don't prepare a file, if you don't have the documentation of what work you have done, it will be considered as if no work has been done by you today, right? It will be considered as if no work is done by you today. So that is why they say you have to do a thinking audit and you have to do an inking audit, right? That is, you have to keep on writing whatever you have checked. So for that we have the chapter number 6, which is regarding the audit documentation. Right, the audit documentation. Okay, right, then chapter number 7, which come towards the end of the audit, which is regarding the completion and review. Right, completion and review. Right, next one, chapter number 8, which is one of the most important chapter again, which is regarding your audit report. क्योंकि final deliverable क्या होता है? The auditor, जब audit खत्म हो जाता है तो end of the audit, auditor क्या issue करते हैं? Audit report. तो audit report का format क्या है, किस type के audit report होते हैं, which all types of paragraph can come in your audit report, all that is discussed in the chapter number 8, which is the audit report. Okay, generally when we are going to talk about an audit, we are going to talk about an audit of a company. Company, it could be private company, public, it could be listed, it could be unlisted company, it could be a profit making organization, non-profit making company, but generally हम लोग company बात करेंगे. We don't talk about the type of business they are into. But ऐसा हो सकता है ना कि when I am doing the audit of a company, that company or that particular, what you say, trust or that LLP, it is running a hotel. and or it is running a hospital, or it is a charitable institution, or it is a non-governmental organization, or it could be a leasing finance company or a hire purchase finance company. So that is where we have the chapter number 9, which is regarding the special features, right? Special features of the audit of the different types of entities, right? Special features of the audit of the different types of entities, right? So क्या बताया मैंने आपको, which all could be the different types of entities over there? It could be a hotel, it could be a hospital, it could be a club, it could be a cinema hall, it could be an educational institution like a school, college, university, right? It could be a NGO, charitable institution, trust, society, sole trader, LLP. तो यहाँ पे भी दुनिया भर की वैरायटी है, because in it's different types of entities over there, right, which we talk about the audit. Okay, right. फिर एक इंटर के सिलेबस में इन्होंने चैप्टर डाला है which is regarding the audit of the banks and bank audit, क्योंकि generally during articleship, if you are generally doing your articleship in a small or a mid-sized firm, generally you get to do a lot of bank audits over there. पहले ऐसा होता था कि bank audits chapter used to be there only in CA final, but now bank audit chapter is there in CA inter also, and it is there in CA final also. Right, so how do you do the audit of the loans given by the bank, that is advances, income of the bank, expense of the bank? तो एक पूरा dedicated chapter है ना for the bank audit, right? So you have a dedicated chapter for the bank audit. And what is the name of our subject, if you remember? Auditing and ethics. तो अभी तक ethics की तो बात ही नहीं हुई है, है ना? So that is why we have the chapter number 11, which is regarding the ethics and the terms of audit engagement, right? Ethics and the terms of the engagement or the terms of the audit engagement. Okay, right? So these are the 11 chapters in the syllabus. Right, these are the 11 chapters in the syllabus, same as per the study material of the ICAI. क्या होता है जनरली, अगर हम लोग इंस्टीट्यूट के स्टडी मटेरियल से सीक्वेंस चेंज कर देते हैं, है ना, सो देन स्टूडेंट्स दे लुक एट द स्टडी मटेरियल एंड देन दे कंपेयर इट विद द नोट्स एंड देन देयर इज लाइक, ओ माय गॉड, इट्स डिफरेंट, इट इज नॉट द सेम. सो दैट इज व्हाई आई थॉट लेट मी कीप इट सेम. You understand? No? So the same sequence, it is there in the study material of ICAI, same sequence you see it in our books also, that these same chapters have been given, but obviously we are not going to study in this sequence. Right? Obviously we are not going to study in this sequence. So like, you know, we'll be first doing the chapter number 1, nature, objective, scope of audit, then coming to chapter number 11. And ethics and terms of audit engagement. Then after ethics and terms of audit engagement, we come to audit report. Right, so 1, फिर 11, फिर 8. Don't worry, I'll take you through. मैं साथ में ही हूँ. And now we go to chapter 1, then chapter 11, then chapter 8, and then after that chapter 3, 4, and the others. Okay, क्योंकि concept build करना है. So over there is a logic, you know, कि why we study it in this particular sequence. Okay, right. So is there quite a lot of stuff to be studied over here? Right, auditing and ethics, right? So some chapters, audit documentation chapter देख के लगता है मैम सारे chapters ऐसे क्यों नहीं है, इतने छोटे छोटे. You understand, like it's one of the smallest chapter, but then items of financial statement, you say मैम ये तो खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा है. You know, it just goes on and on and on. So don't worry, we mix and match it and we cover the entire chapter also. Right, so all good everyone for the chapters which we have. Nature, objective. So you know, a sign of a good student is a student who at least knows the chapters in the syllabus. है ना, some students आते हैं 2-3 attempt हो गए, उनको बोलते हैं तुमने वो chapter किया, अच्छा है क्या वो, ऐसे, like you know, they are under some different world over there, right? So nature, objective, scope of audit, then audit strategy, audit planning, audit program, then risk assessment and internal control. Then you have the audit evidence, then the audit of the items of the financial statement, then the audit documentation, then the completion and review, then the audit report, special features of the audit of the different types of the entities, audit of the banks, and the ethics and the terms of the audit engagement. Okay, because what happens, you know, in the exam you see a question number 4A, and you read the question. Does it not have to come to your mind कि from which chapter is this particular question? Because the questions in the exams are going to be random, right? So that's the first thought which has to come. Okay, right? So this is one regarding your syllabus. Now, second, talking about the paper pattern, right? So let's look into the paper pattern, right? So paper pattern, 100 marks question, yes, question that you have to write, and out of that 30 marks is the MCQ, right? So 30 marks MCQ and 70 marks we have for the theory, right? So this is the MCQ and 70 marks is for the theory, right? In the MCQ, each MCQ which we have seen lately, 15 questions of 2 marks each, right? 15 questions. In these 15 questions, they give few case studies. And so like say there is case study 1, then case study 2, case study 3, and then there are some general MCQs, and some general MCQs, right? So on an average around 12, मतलब एक case study 1 उसके नीचे 3-4 question, case study 2 3-4 questions, case study 3 3-4 questions, and then general MCQ 3-4 questions, but total will come to 15 questions, 2 marks each. And total. So case study 1, they will give you a case scenario. Uske niche 3, 4, 5 questions. Any number. It can be random. Right? Then after that, case study 2, case study 3, and then some general MCQs. Okay. Right? So that's part 1 of the paper. Then part 2 of the paper is where you have the theory. In the theory, we have question number 1, which is compulsory. Right? In the theory, we have the question number 1, which is compulsory. In 1, we have question number 1A, 1B, 1C, 5 marks, 5 marks, and 4 marks. Right? So this is 5 mark, and 4 marker question, which is compulsory. Right? So 5 plus 5, 10, and 10 plus 4, 14. So 14 marks compulsory question. Right? 14 marks compulsory question. Then after that, it says answer any 4 out of the remaining 5 questions. Answer any 4 out of the remaining 5 questions. So you have question number 2, A, B, C. Question number 3, again A, B, C. Question number 4, A, B, C. Question number 5, A, B, C. And generally in question number 6, they give an internal option over here. Okay, C का एक internal option होता है. And 4 or 4, any one of the two. And obviously this is again 5 marks, and 4 marks. Right? So any 4 out of the 5. So either you select 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 5, 6, any. And so out of the 5 questions, you have to write entirely any 4 questions out of that, right? So that is again how many questions over there? 4 questions, right? So that is 14 marks into the 4 questions, right? So 14 marks into the 4 questions. So that is coming to 56 marks, right? So एक compulsory question कितने mark का हो गया? 14 mark का. फिर ये 56, तो ये हो गया 70, and then MCQ 30. Clear? Have you followed what I said? Right? In the 100 marks of the paper, you have the 30 marks for the MCQ, right? And then 70 marks for the theory. In the 70, 14 marks is compulsory, right? 14 marks is compulsory, and 56 marks is what? Answer any 4 out of the remaining 5 questions. Answer any 4 out of the remaining 5 questions. Right? That is the pattern of the paper. ऐसा कभी देखा है, जैसे if you look at the May 24 question paper, you know, it says question number 2, A, B, C, D, and they've given 4, 4, 3, 3. Right? Or 4, 4, you know, 4 and 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, yes, 4, 4, 3, 3. तो 4 क्वेश्चंस दिए हैं, पर अगर एमटीपी सितंबर 24 देखो तो उसमें 3 क्वेश्चंस दिए, 5, 5, 4. राइट? सो एनीवेज एक क्वेश्चन कितने मार्क का होगा? 14 marks का. एक question how many marks का it will be for 14 marks, but it could be like it is A, B, C, D, which is 4, 4, 3, 3, or it could be A, B, C, which is 5, 5, 4. Okay, right? So क्योंकि May 24 का question paper देखो तो it is 4, 4, 3, 3. September 24 का अगर MTP 1 and 2 देखो तो then it is A, B, C. Right? So it doesn't matter whatever number they ask, but that is sure that they are asking for 14 marks. Right? They are asking for 14 marks. That is what is seen. इसके पहले old syllabus में there used to be something called as correct and correct, right? Wherein they used to ask the 7 questions of 2 marks each, so that used to be 14 marks over there. अब new syllabus में that correct and correct is not been seen in your paper. क्योंकि फिर क्या हो रहा था? 30 marks MCQ, फिर 14 marks का correct and correct. तो theory was becoming very less. So that is why now correct and correct is not there. Right? So in case if you go through any old content, it is good for conceptual understanding कि आप वो सारे correct incorrect देख लो, but ऐसा देखा तो नहीं गया है. तुम बोलो कि मैम आपने तो बोला था नहीं आता है, भाई वो इंस्टीट्यूट है ना, तो अगर कभी आ जाए तो पता नहीं, but at least based on the latest MTP, RTP suggested of ICAI, it is seen that there is no correct incorrect question being asked over there. They are asking the theory questions, that to 2 marks, है ना, MCQ. They are asking the MCQs also for 2 marks, and then you have the theory part of the paper. Is that clear to everyone? Right. So have you followed these 2 things which I told you? One, I told you the syllabus, the 11 chapters that we have to study, and second, I told you regarding the paper pattern के 30 marks of the MCQ and 70 marks of the theory in the paper. तो total कितना questions लिखना है अपने को exam में? टोटल हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस? 15 क्वेश्चंस एमसीक्यू के सॉल्व करना है. फिर ये 1 2 3 है ना, 1 2 3, देन 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 है ना, तो 15 ओवर ईयर थियोरी क्वेश्चंस एंड 15 एमसीक्यू, तो पूरा 30 क्वेश्चन आने वाले हैं, है ना. टोटल हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर गोइंग टू कम इन द एग्जाम? 30 क्वेश्चंस. आर यू गेटिंग व्हाट यू अंडरस्टूड? हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर गोइंग टू कम? 30 questions, 15 in the MCQ, A, B, C, D, है ना. Out of that, which is your favorite option in MCQ? Otta, all of the above, है ना. बोले किसी का दिल क्यों दुखाए? Otta, all of the above, या notta, none of the above. Okay, either everything or nothing, like that. Okay, and so that's the MCQ part of the paper, and then you have the theory part wherein you have to write down these 15 theory questions in your paper. Okay, right. Now let us come to some further discussion over there regarding what you already told me regarding something called as the financial statements. And financial statements, what do you mean by FS? Financial statements. What is included in the financial statements of a company or any organization? Balance sheet, right? Then after that, the statement of profit and loss, P&L, है ना. Statement of profit and loss. वो P&L इतना बोलते हैं, उसका ओरिजिनल नाम भूल ही जाते हैं. And P&L, they never call it as profit and loss account. Okay, then after that you have the cash flow statement, right? The cash flow statement. Then the SOCE. What is that? Statement of changes in equity. Statement of changes in equity. And then you have the notes to account. Notes to account का पूरा नाम क्या है? Summary of significant accounting policies, summary of significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. Are you all with me? Have you started writing with me, everyone? Yes, all of you? Okay. Right. So what are we talking about over here? Financial statements. What do you mean by financial statements? Balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and the summary of the significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information, very popularly known as notes to account, very popularly known as books of account, and then you have the notes to account. And the notes to account. Okay, balance sheet. What do you understand by looking at the balance sheet of the company? क्या हाल है? What is the state of affairs of the company as at? Balance sheet कैसे होती है? As at 31st March 2030. Example. It is as at. Can I prepare a balance sheet every day? Every day I can prepare. Today's what is the position? As at. But profit and loss account is for the period ended. Okay, what is the revenue of the company from 1st April 2029 to 31st March 2030? So it is for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, full year. And so statement of profit and losses for the year ended. So that tells you about the results of the entity, the profit or the loss of the entity for a particular period. Cash flow statement, it tells you the cash flows of the entity. Right? Then the statement of changes in equity. What are the changes in the equity of the company, right? Changes in the equity of the company. And then summary of significant accounting policies, that is the notes to account. Right? That is the Notes to account, the summary of the significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. Right, so financial statements. Do you understand financial statements? Balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, cash flow statement, SOCE, statement of changes in equity, and the summary of the significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. So now, whatever figures are coming in the financial statements, from where are they coming? जो भी बैलेंस शीट में स्टेप व्हाट यू से प्रॉपर्टी प्लांट इक्विपमेंट डेटर क्रेडिटर इट इज बीन सीन इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम दी schedules है ना which is there in the notes to account. Right, now these schedules, where are the figures coming from? Trial balance. In the trial balance, where are they coming from? Ledger. In the ledger, where are they coming from? Journal entry, which I can also call it as the books of the prime entry, right? The books of the prime entry. And in the books of the prime entry, it is coming from the transaction, it is coming from the voucher, the supporting documents on the basis of which the transaction has been recorded in the books of account. It is coming कि अगर कोई rent expense record किया है तो उसका कोई rent agreement होगा ना. अगर कोई rent expense record किया है तो ऐसे you cannot record some bogus rent transaction in the books of account ना. उसका कोई supporting होना चाहिए. There has to be some supporting to validate the transaction, to validate the balance. There has to be some supporting, right? Some evidence, and that is where we talk about the term evidence. Like evidence का एक preliminary understanding क्या है कि proof होना चाहिए. But evidence does not mean proof. We'll come to that. But type of. अभी के understanding के लिए कि उसका कोई supporting होना चाहिए. यू अंडरस्टैंड. तो ऐसा है क्या कि अगर जो कंपनी के तो ये सारे जो वाउचर ट्रायल बैलेंस लेजर बुक्स ऑफ प्राइम एंट्री है ऑल दिस व्हाट आई कैन डू आई कैन कॉल इट एज द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट है ना. ऑल दीज आर व्हाट नथिंग बट द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट ऑफ द कंपनी. राइट, जनरली एक कंपनी के बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट होता है, नॉट बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. Right, so you have the books of account of a company. Okay, right. तो ऐसा होना चाहिए क्या कि ये कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स है और ये कंपनी के बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट है और ये दोनों एक दूसरे से मैच होने चाहिए. What do you think? ये कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स प्रिपेयर किए हैं और ये कंपनी के सारे बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट है. डू यू थिंक दैट दीज टू शुड मैच, दैट दे शुड बी द सेम? है ना. मेनी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स वो बोलते हैं अच्छा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स प्रिपेयर करना है, अच्छा तो हम लोग बोलते हैं ठीक है हम अपना बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट देते हैं. बोलते हैं बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट वगैरह कुछ नहीं चाहिए, आप सिर्फ हमें इतना बता दो कि आपको प्रॉफिट कितना दिखाना है, आपको टैक्स कितना पे करना है, कल लेके जाना है ना. हाउ मच प्रॉफिट यू वांट टू शो, व्हाट टैक्स यू वांट टू पे, दैट मच यू टेल मी. बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट एंड ऑल यू कीप एट योर ऑफिस. पेट्रोल बिल, रेंट, एवरीथिंग I will adjust. How much depreciation, how much cash to show, how much secured, unsecured loan to show, they say it will show, or we'll adjust all of that. No, but will such financial statements be the correct ones? No, they will not be considered to be the correct ones. So one of the important role of the CA, of the chartered accountant, is to check that whether the balance sheet and the profit and loss account, obviously the cash flow, SOC and others, but mainly whether the balance sheet and profit and loss account, are they in agreement with the books of account? What is BOA? Books of account. Whether the balance sheet and profit and loss account, are they in agreement with the बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट. के शुड नॉट हैपन कि बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट में तो कुछ और ही है, जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स प्रिपेयर किया दैट इज समथिंग एल्स ओनली. दैट शुड नॉट बी द सिचुएशन. इट शुड बी दैट बैलेंस शीट एंड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट शुड बी इन अग्रीमेंट विद द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट. ये कंपनीज एक्ट की एक रिपोर्टिंग रिक्वायरमेंट भी है. वील कम टू दैट लेटर. With the balance sheet and profit and loss account, are they in agreement with the books of account? So anyways, right now we've just had a preliminary understanding about the term financial statement. जैसे मैंने बोला ना क्रिकेट का टर्मिनोलॉजी, अभी ऑडिट तो we talk about audit of financial statements. That is why we understood the first term over there, FS. Right? Financial statements, right? Balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and the summary of the significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. Okay, right. So let us see Reliance Industries financial statements. Any guess what is their revenue? $100 billion. Okay. Right. How much is their revenue? Right. So let us look into. So this is the subject which I have come to teach you over here, wherein I'm going to teach you regarding the independent auditor's report. ये अपना bread and butter है. And issuing the independent auditor's report, that is going to be our chapter number 8, audit report. And after the audit report, what we have over here is the, देखो ये पूरा audit report हो गया, the additional reporting being done by the auditor, and then you have the financial statements starting with the balance sheet as at 31st March 2024. Assets, right? They have rupees in crore. And you see it over there, it's rupees in crore. How they would be doing the rounding off, you know, because it's 258,911, but there would be 7 numbers in front of that, and they would have done the rounding off. अभी अपना इधर पेपर जब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं उसमें 2 जीरो एक्स्ट्रा आ गए तो बाद में के जीरो छोटे छोटे करने पड़ते हैं. Okay, right. So anyways, right. So you have the property, plant, equipment, 2,58,911 crore. अभी उसका depreciation calculation, oh my god, intangible assets of 40,719 crore. Right? ये items of financial statement है, chapter number 5. How to do the audit? You remember, no? Audit of the items of the financial statement, right? Current assets, inventory, investments of 68,000 crore, right? Then the cash and cash equivalents of 69,000 crore. And where you have to check the bank accounts over there, right? And then the loans of balance sheet total, and 9,59,643 crore. Okay. Then equity and liability. How much is the equity share capital? 6,766 crore, right? Then the other equity, that is your reserves and surplus, 5,08,000 crore. So now you know Anant Ambani wedding. Right, okay, right, 5,08,330 crore, right? Then the borrowings, okay, lease liabilities, deferred tax, right? Then the current liabilities, provisions, 972 crore, right? And then you see their auditors over there, right? For Deloitte, Haskins and Sells LLP, and for Chaturvedi and Shah LLP. That means they have the joint auditors. They don't have, if one single CA firm is doing the audit, then that is sole auditor. But if more than one firm is doing the audit, just the State Bank of India, they have 12 joint auditors. I'll show you their report also when we come to bank audit chapter or joint audit. Okay, right, so here they have 2 CA firms, and Deloitte and Chaturvedi and Shah, right? Chartered Accountants registration number, Abhijit Damle and Sandesh Ladda. And then after that you have the membership number given over there, right? The registration number and so, right? So that is the signature, right? That is first the balance sheet. After the balance sheet you have the statement of the profit and loss. You have the income, 5,33,566 crore, right? Then the revenue from operation, right? Then expenses, cost of material, purchases, change in inventory, excise, employee benefit, depreciation, amortization, depletion. Have you heard these terms? Depreciation for tangible, amortization for intangible, depletion for mines, yes, for the wasting assets, right? So depletion, right? Other expenses. Then you have the PBT, profit for, yes, before tax, 55,000 crore. And then the profit for the year, 42,000 crore. Right? Profit for the year, 42,000 crore. Right? So that is first they have their statement of profit and loss. Then after that you see the statement of the changes in the equity. So equity, share capital, and then the other equity, which is nothing but your reserves and surplus, right? So reserves and surplus, balance in the beginning of the year, add less, and then balance at the end of the year, right? Balance at the end of the year. So that is reserves and surplus. That is statement of the changes in equity. Then you see the statement of the cash flow from the operating activities, cash flow from the investing activities, cash flow from the financing activities, right? So that is the cash flow statement. And then after that you have the notes to account, right? Notes to the standalone financial statements, right? So they've given their material accounting policy. क्या लिखा था हमने? Summary of significant accounting policies and the other explanatory information. तो जो उन्होंने accounting policy follow किया है in the preparation of financial statements, each of that accounting policy has been given over here. Okay, property, plant and equipment, how they have done the accounting. What accounting policy they have followed has been given in the notes to account. Intangible assets, provision, contingent liability. So all the accounting policies have been given, and after the accounting policies, they give all the other explanatory information. So then after that, you see what over there? All the other explanatory information. Look at their related parties. Have you heard the term? Related party, subsidiary, associate, joint venture, ऐसा कुछ सुना है क्या? है ना? 51% of the paid up share capital and so. Right? So name of subsidiary company. Now look at them. Look at them. कैसे? अभी कॉलम बोली नॉर्थ फर्स्ट, कॉलम बोली नॉर्थ इंफ्रा, नॉर्थ सेकंड, नॉर्थ थर्ड, साउथ फर्स्ट, साउथ इंफ्रा. उनको ऐसे सोचना पड़ता होगा कि क्या नाम दिया और क्या बाकी है. Like what name is given and what is yet remaining, right? And then after that you see this as total number of the related parties. They have the 360 related parties, right? Urban ladder and oh my god, right? You see the entire abhi energy ka dekho. Reliance new energy battery, new energy carbon, new energy hydrogen electrolysis, new energy hydrogen fuel, new energy power electronic, energy storage. It's Reliance, petro marketing, petro material. You know, so that is where all this is given in the notes to account. Auditor, when you have to do the audit of the financial statements, are you going to check these notes to account also? Yes. Because this notes to account also a part of the financial statements. My question to you is notes to account also a part of the financial statements? Yes. So will auditor do the audit of all this notes to account also? Yes. Right? So that's your standalone. You understand standalone and console? Right? What is standalone financial statement? जैसे अभी जो हमने Reliance Industries का देखा, that is stand alone. Reliance Industries alone. But Reliance Industries, as we saw, they have so many subsidiary, associate, joint venture. तो उन सबका मिला के जब वो financial statements prepare करते हैं, so then that is called as the consolidated financial statements. So next you get to see over here the consolidated financial statements. So now instead of the balance sheet, it is called as the now it will be called as the consolidated balance sheet. Right? Consolidated balance sheet, their total is 17. There it was some 9 crore. Now here it is some 17 crore. And then you look at their consolidated revenue, it is coming to 10 lakh 122 crore. Right? 10 lakh 122 crore. And then they have the profit for the year as 79,000 crore. Right? The consolidated revenue. Right? So what we are talking about, ऐसा लगता है कि audit is a theory subject, but see, it's actually the most practical subject that we are studying. And actually, it's the most practical subject that we are studying. So, why I showed you this in the beginning, so that you have an idea. क्योंकि जब हम लोग audit की बात करेंगे, we are going to talk about different types of audit, like internal audit and statutory audit and other varieties of audit. But main जो अपना discussion होगा, that is going to be regarding the statutory audit. Right, main discussion of regarding which audit are we going to do. The main discussion that we will do is going to be regarding the statutory audit. What is statutory audit? Audit which is required to be done under a statute. What do you mean by statute? Law. And an audit which is required by law. Audit which is required by a statute. And an audit required by law. An audit required by law, which is nothing but the statute. Okay, and here where we talk about the statutory audit, mainly we are talking about the audit of the financial statements, which is required by which law? Which is required by the Companies Act 2013, if it's a company. And every company is required to get its financial statements audited. Under section 139, you have the appointment of the company auditor. 143, you have the rights and duties of company auditor. And so we are going to, whenever I say statutory audit, when I only say audit also, यहाँ अपना audit मतलब audit of financial statements, unless otherwise specified. कोई दूसरा audit अगर होगा तो उसके पहले I will say कि it is internal audit. But when I only say audit, that means it has to be the audit of the financial statements. है ना, audit of the balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, SOC, notes to account. Do you understand that? Audit of the financial statements, the statutory audit, right? The audit which is required by law, which is required under the Companies Act 2013. Okay, right. So now, for the preparation of the financial statements, again, let us go to the Reliance Industries annual report over there, right? In that annual report, let me come to the board of directors. Have you heard a term called as board of directors? Yes, have you heard some term called as the board of directors of the company? Right? The management, have you heard a term called as TCWG? TCWG, which is those charged with governance. And those charged with governance. And TCWG, those charged with the governance. What can be the simplest definition of TCWG to begin my understanding with? It is the highest level of management in an organization. It is the highest level of management in an organization. Like, have you heard of a term called as audit committee? An audit committee, I'll come to that term. If you've not heard, today you're listening it for the first time, no problem. Board of directors, है ना, कंपनी के बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. तो ये कौन होते हैं? हाईएस्ट लेवल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. दीज आर द TCWG. TCWG, they give the strategic direction to the entity. है ना, they give the strategic direction to the entity. है ना, कि किस दिशा में हमें जाना है, कि in which direction, what type of business our company is getting into, what next investment are we going to do, how we are going to do our business. They give the strategic direction to the entity, the highest level of management in an organization. Right? The highest level of the management in an organization. Okay, right? So in the company you will have the BOD. Who is BOD? Board of directors. Then under the board of directors you will have the CEO. Do you know CEO? Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Financial Officer of the company, the Vice President of the company, and so, right? These are who? These are the management. And below the management you have the employees. Right? So highest level of management, board of directors, उनके नीचे management, उसके नीचे employees. Right? TCWG, they give the strategic direction to the entity. TCWG, they give the strategic direction to the entity, whereas management, they will do the execution part. Management, they will do the execution part, and employees will be working under the control of the management. Employees will be working under the control of the management. Okay, TCWG, highest level of management in an organization. उनके नीचे कौन होता है? Management. And उनके नीचे कौन होता है? The employees of the company. It is like son, father and grandfather, like that. And the highest level of management, like you see the Tarak Mehta ka Ulta Chashma, right? The Tappu is like the employee, right? Then after that, Jethalal, management type, and then Jethalal will say something, and then Champak Chacha, what do you say? Jetya, so that is TCWG, highest level of the management, and a board of directors, and the highest level of the management. Okay, क्या ऐसा हो सकता है? Can it so happen that in some companies management and TCWG is one and the same? Yes, in a small organization वहां पे करता धरता एक ही, आप ही डिसाइड करते हो, आप ही एग्जीक्यूट करते हो. तो ऐसा हो सकता है that in some companies management TCWG could be one and the same. That is why many a times where you will read the sentence, what you will read it as? TCWG or management as appropriate. है ना? तो ऐसा क्यों लिखते हैं? Because every company need not have a TCWG. But like a company like Tata, Infosys, Reliance, Mahindra, do they need to have a TCWG? Yes. There has to be the highest level of the management. Below them you will have. तो TCWG भी एक प्रकार का management ही है, but वो highest level है. So if you draw the organization pyramid, जो tip of the pyramid पे है, peak पे है, that is बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स TCWG, उनके नीचे है मैनेजमेंट और फिर उनके नीचे है the employees of the company. Do you understand? If next time I use the term financial statements, I use the word TCWG. Is it clear to everyone? TCWG, the highest level of management in the organization, right? So you look into the Reliance Industries, right? They talk about their board of directors, right? So who are the board of directors of the company, right? So they've given the entire, right, the financial performance and review, right, is being done by these are the management people or so. And then after that, they have this board of directors type, the highest level of management in the organization, right? The highest level of the management in the organization, right? So that is the TCWG, right? That is the highest level. And पहले हम लोग क्या बोलते थे? SWOT analysis. अभी भी जब आप SM पढ़ते हो तो it is called as a SWOT analysis, but they say weakness is a very negative word, so you should call it as a challenge. You should not say it's my weakness. You say that's a challenge to me. ठीक है, English keeps on evolving, so that is why they now call it as don't say it's my strength and weakness. Say it's my strength and challenge. What I don't know, it's not my weakness. It's just that I don't yet know it. I am going to know it shortly, that way. Right? So they say your strengths, your challenges, your opportunities and threats. Okay. Right. So that is where, right, they talk about the SWOT analysis and the different businesses that Reliance is into. Right? So anyways, Reliance is one annual report which we are going to study in great detail. And just as an example for us to get an understanding of the entire subject, right, we are going to discuss this particular Reliance report over there. Okay, right. Anyways, now coming to my further discussion, right? So is what have I discussed with you so far? Okay, what are the chapters? The 11 chapters. Then I talk to you about the paper pattern. You should not lose sight, no, कि क्या चल रहा है class में. And then after that we discuss the term financial statements. Then we discuss the term TCWG. Okay, right. So anyways, why I came to the term TCWG? कि preparation and presentation. ये जो financial statements prepare करने का जो काम है, somebody has to sit and prepare, no? Do you think? Balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow statement, notes to account. Every time when I say financial statements, whose responsibility it is to prepare the financial statements? It is the responsibility of the management. TCWG, they will oversee the preparation of financial statements, but as such preparation, presentation, and a preparation and the presentation of the financial statements. Whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the management. Can some cases management TCWG be one and the same? Yes. Right? But presentation of financial statements is the responsibility of the management. It is the responsibility of the management. Okay. Now, you give me an answer to a simple question. Are you all listening to me, everyone? Okay, right. So you give me an answer to a simple question. कि two companies, two company, asset, liability, income, expense being exactly the same. कि इनके पास अगर 4 बिल्डिंग है तो उनके पास भी 4 बिल्डिंग है, इनकी 3 लाइबिलिटी है तो इनकी भी 3 है, इनका 700 करोड़ इनकम है तो इनका भी 700 करोड़ है, इनका जितना रेंट है इतना इनका भी रेंट है, एकदम सेम टू सेम. एसेट, लाइबिलिटी, इनकम, एक्सपेंस, टू कंपनीज हैविंग एकदम सेम टू सेम asset, liability, income, expense. Can they have different profits? Can they show different profits? But their asset, liability, income, expenses same to same. It depends on the management. What depends on the management? How they prepare means exactly what? How can efficiency decide my financial state? Okay, so I'll do less mistakes. So my financial statement will show different profit. Okay. Anything else that you would like to say? Policies. Exactly. Exactly. That is the point what I wanted. Okay? Accounting policies could be different. Like say they have their inventory. Now inventory, what are the methods which I can use for the valuation of inventory? FIFO or the weighted average method. LIFO, is it allowed by the AS or the Ind AS too? No, LIFO is not allowed. But between FIFO weighted average कोई भी use किया तो चलेगा क्या? Between WDV, SLM, I use any, is it okay? Right? It depends, no, okay, which you consider it to be a more fair presentation of your financial statements. Right? So, two company asset, liability, income, expense being exactly the same, still can they show different profits? Yes, they can show the different, yes, what you say, different profits over there. Right? Why? Because there could be a difference in the accounting policies. Okay, right. So now, ये FIFO या weighted average, ये कैसे decide हुआ? We said कि you select FIFO भी weighted average, कुछ भी चलेगा, but LIFO नहीं चलेगा. But FIFO weighted average, anything will do. Who has said this? From where did you get this? The accounting standard, exactly. Right? The accounting standard, the AS, the Ind AS, the IFRS. The International Financial Reporting Standard. You can play, you can have different accounting policies, but you have to be within the framework, within the boundary of what is given in the accounting standard. Ind AS, उसके beyond नहीं जा सकते. हाँ, AS के अंदर जो option है कि cost or NRV, whichever is lower, long term investment, current investment, that you decide, that much classification. But can you go beyond that? No. So that is why management, when you prepare the financial statements, can you compare the financial statements of two companies? Okay, oh, their income is 100 crore and their income is 120 crore. Can you directly compare? No, you first have to study their accounting policies. Why? Because the accounting policies may be different. Why? Because the accounting policies may be different, right? They might be having a more conservative accounting policy. They might be having a more aggressive accounting policy. One might be using FIFO. Estimated useful life of asset may be different. But all this accounting policy has to be keeping in mind the requirements of the accounting standards, right? The accounting standards के ये पता है कि भले थोड़ा accounting policy इधर उधर होगा, एक का FIFO होगा, एक का weighted average होगा, but एक बात तो पक्का है कि both financial statements would be prepared as per the accounting standards. Both of them the disclosures would have been given as per the Schedule 3 to the Companies Act 2013. And the disclosures would have been given as per the Schedule 3 to the Companies Act 2013. Okay, right. So now who has issued these accounting standards? Right, who has issued these accounting standards? Right, the ICAI, right? The institute, you have the Accounting Standard Board of the ICAI, right? So if I put over here ICAI, right? And then if I come to the resources and then I come to the accounting standards, right? Resources and I come to the accounting standards, right? You have the AS and Ind AS, right? So you see the different accounting standards, compendium of the accounting standards as on, right? All the accounting standards given over there, the framework and so. Right, so the entire compendium of the accounting standards being given over here. Oh my God, है ना? How many out of these you've studied? कब हो गया? नहीं, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to gone, right? Then you have this 23, 29, right? So these are all the accounting standards, right? The accounting standards. Now, if you see the accounting standards, you also have the committees of the ICAI, right? The non-standing committee, wherein you have the ASB. Okay, who issues the accounting standard? आए कहाँ से? Somebody would have issued, no, these accounting standards, right? So you have the Accounting Standard Board of the ICAI, right? You have the meetings and then the publications, Ind AS, Accounting Standard, AS rules, vagere. Right? So all this is relating to the accounting, right? So financial statements. So what have we understood so far, everyone? Okay, financial statements, they are prepared by the management. For the preparation of financial statements, the management could make use of the accounting standards, the Ind AS, IFRS, whatever is applicable to that particular company. Okay, now, you know, if like example, now my drawing is very, very creative, you know, it's very dangerous, I can say, but say example, this is a t-shirt. Is it looking like, okay, whatever. A car, though, if I draw, it looks like a chua only. So anyways, okay, right. So anyways, this is the t-shirt. ओके, नॉर्मल यू गो टू एनी फैशन स्ट्रीट, हाथी पोल में मिलता है क्या टी शर्ट, पता नहीं, है ना. सो यू गो टू एनी मार्केट और एनी वेयर ओवर देयर एंड यू वांट टू बाय अ टी शर्ट, है ना. ओके, सो नाउ हाउ मच, लाइक नॉर्मल जस्ट अ प्लेन येलो कलर टी शर्ट, नॉर्मल फैब्रिक, लाइक कोई नथिंग ग्रेट, लाइक नॉर्मल यूजेबल, तो कितने का आएगा? 400, 300, हाँ 400 रुपीज, डन. पक्का बार्गेनिंग करना है क्या थोड़ा? 200 में दे दो, अच्छा ठीक है 200 में ले लो, नो प्रॉब्लम. ओके राइट, अब ये सेम टी शर्ट पे एक टिक लगा देते हैं. अब कितने का आएगा? हाँ, एक जीरो और बढ़ा दो, 4000 का आएगा. नाइकी के स्टोर में जाओ, है ना, फिर वो टी शर्ट, फिर तुम बोलोगे मैम सेम ही तो है मैम, अभी वहां 400 में था, यहाँ एक टिक लग गया तो हो गया. अब ये कार है ना, इसको एक इंजन लगा दिया, ड्राइवर का सीट, स्टीयरिंग लगा दिया, चलेगी? तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है यार, चलेगी. आजकल बहुत स्टार्टअप चलता है, तो ये चलेगी कार. ओके, तो ये कार कितने में अभी बोलो? 5,50,000, 5,000, अरे इतना नहीं रे, ऐसे मत करो. 5 लाख, ठीक है, 5 लाख, है ना, ठीक है. अब इसके ऊपर ना हम लोग इधर 4 सर्कल लगा देते हैं. एक जीरो और, सीधा हिसाब है मैम, जीरो की बात है मैम, सिर्फ राइट साइड में लगाना है. डिड यू सी? ओके, अब कंपनी ने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाए. मैनेजमेंट बोलते यार जी तोड़ के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाए, पूरा अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड मर मर के पढ़ा, एकदम बनाया, प्लीज आप यूज करो, शेयर होल्डर्स को देते हैं. शेयर होल्डर बोलते हैं नहीं भाई, हाउ कैन आई ट्रस्ट, ये ब्रांडेड नहीं है. ये फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हु हैज प्रिपेयर्ड? मैनेजमेंट. आर दे ब्रांडेड? नो, दे आर जस्ट फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. वो क्या बोलते हैं कि प्लीज सीए के पास लेके जाओ, ऑडिट करवा के लाओ, फिर ये क्या कहे जाएंगे? ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. And now will everybody rely on them? Yes. So CA is doing a branding of the financial statements. How are you relying कि भाई यार Reliance का revenue 10 lakh 122 crore है? How you rely कि it is 10 lakh 122 crore? Auditor has said, he has issued his audit report. So look over here everyone. If I say financial statements, it is balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow statement, SOCE and the note summary. वो मैंने detail में already लिखा हुआ है. But now same thing, if I say this is audited financial statements, then it starts with the independent auditor's report. अभी देखा रिलायंस के बैलेंस शीट के पहले क्या था? डिड यू सी रिलायंस की स्टैंड अलोन कंसो के बैलेंस शीट के पहले क्या था? इंडिपेंडेंट ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट. इंडिपेंडेंट. वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ बिग डिस्कशन रिगार्डिंग द इंडिपेंडेंस ऑफ द ऑडिटर. Auditor, can you be biased? Can you have sides with the management? Not at all. You know NAFRA? You might not be knowing. I've come here to tell you all what you don't know. You know NAFRA? नेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग अथॉरिटी. हिंदी में पढ़ना है क्या सब्जेक्ट? रुको, हम लोग एनएफआरए को हिंदी में, है ना, राष्ट्रीय वित्तीय रिपोर्टिंग प्राधिकरण. यू नो व्हाट ऑडिट इज कॉल्ड इन हिंदी? ऑडिट को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? अंकेक्षण. मैं आपको अंकेक्षण पढ़ाने आई हूं, ठीक है, याद रखना. ओके राइट. सो नेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग अथॉरिटी, द राष्ट्रीय वित्तीय रिपोर्टिंग प्राधिकरण. एंड लुक एट द ऑर्डर्स. ओ माय गॉड, यू नो, प्रैक्टिसिंग एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, लाइक वी कैन जस्ट सी, है ना, सीसीडी का देखते हैं, है ना, कैफे कॉफी डे. दिस ऑर्डर disposes of the show cause notice for BSR and associates, right? The chartered accountant's name given over there. Executive summary, they examined the professional misconduct. हम लोग ethics के बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं, है ना, we are going to study, and I don't want you to take you through the entire report, है ना, but we come to the verdict of the NFRA order. Right, so this order, it says where professional misconduct has been made, debarring the member or the firm. Right, so what does it say? Email dated the statutory audit fee, considering the professional misconduct, impose a monetary penalty of 10 crore on BSR and Associates LLP and 50 lakh upon CA so and so, 25 lakh upon the CA. And in addition, CA so and so is debarred stopped, not allowed to practice for a period of 10 years. 10 years practice करने का नहीं. Not allowed to practice as a CA and is debarred for a period of 5 years from being appointed as an auditor, internal auditor, or from undertaking any audit in respect of financial statements or internal audit of the functions and activities of any company or body corporate. Right, so you have these very strict actions being taken by the NAFRA, and apart from the NAFRA, just one more, I show it to you over there. You also have this, we study more in CA final, but you have the disciplinary mechanism of the ICAI. है ना, तुम्हारा कोई CA है ना, तुम्हारा कोई फैमिली बिजनेस है और उसका कोई CA है. अब तुम बोलते यार ये CA ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहा है. And you say that the CA is not doing work properly. I want to file a complaint against the CA. You say कि कोई भी CA या one CA wants to file a complaint against another CA कि इसने मेरा काम छीन लिया. You know, any person wants to file a complaint. बैंक को complaint file करनी against CA. You say, मैम कहाँ complaint file कर सकते हैं? You have the disciplinary mechanism. It says file a complaint. And any person, any institution can come and file a complaint with the disciplinary mechanism of the ICAI, and then you have the orders passed. Right, you have the entire list of the orders passed by the Board of Discipline and the Disciplinary Committee. Right, so we can just look at one particular order over there. Right, so you see this name of the CA. And so who has filed the complaint? Sanjay Jain versus the chartered accountant. And then what is the complaint regarding? We don't go into the details of the case, right, regarding what is the complaint about. But at the end of it, what does it say? Such a big order being passed. And thus in conclusion is in the considered opinion of the board, the respondent, that means the CA is guilty. है ना, कुछ तो गड़बड़ किया है CA ने, is guilty of other misconduct falling within the meaning of the Chartered Accountants Act. You know, जैसे company is governed by the Companies Act 2013. Similarly, Chartered Accountant is governed by the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Right? The Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Right? So you see so many of the orders passed by the Board of Discipline and also the Disciplinary Committee. Disciplinary Committee को तो उसको तो बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा है. And they don't have complete non-tolerance against the chartered accountants, right? So in the matter of so and so, and then you see the order passed, right? So again, CA has been removed from the register of member. So once you become a CA, your name is entered into the register of members of the ICAI and you get your registration number from the institute, right? So it says the CA registration number has been removed for a period of 45 days and a fine of 1 lakh has been imposed on him to be paid within 90 days of the receipt of the order. Right? So fine is one part of it, but you know, when your name is removed from the register of member, I think that is where there are these small articles doing articleship under you and you come to know principal ka to gaya 45 days ke liye membership. Something like that, right? So yeah, you have to be, it's like, you know, a hanging sword. And practicing as a chartered accountant, there are hundreds, you know, you have taken one of the best decisions of your life deciding to become a chartered accountant. But you know, it comes at its own cost that you always have to be vigilant. And now, तुमने 100 clients को ठीक से serve किया. है ना, 100 clients, you know, you did your work very properly. One client, one mistake and gone. And the entire reputation and everything, the goodwill which you built up in the profession, it will collapse like a pack of cards. And it entirely collapses like a pack of cards over there. Okay, right. So anyways, we are talking about the independent audited financial statement. So ये financial statements है, ये है audited financial statements. So audited financial statements बोले तो brand लग जाएगा. है ना, like I told you the t-shirt, now there is a tick on the t-shirt. Similarly, now this is independent audit report and baki to same, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, SOCE and the notes to account. Do you understand? Right? The financial statements and the audited financial statements. And okay, what is the audited financial statements? Okay, right. Now, preparation and presentation of the financial statements, whose responsibility? It is the responsibility of the management. Okay, now this management or this board of directors of the company, who has appointed them? The board of directors, you know, the management of the company. Management is running the company on whose behalf? On behalf of the shareholders of the company. and shareholders of the company. So, because management say we can't, the shareholders say we can't look into the day-to-day affairs of the company. So that is why they appoint the management, the board of directors, that you run the company on our behalf. Management says we've run the company on your behalf. This is your financial statement. Now, can the shareholders rely on the financial statements prepared by the management? No. So that is why shareholders appoint a auditor, statutory auditor. They appoint an auditor. Okay, you go on our behalf to the company and you check the financial statements. You give us a independent auditor's report, and then we will be able to rely on these financial statements. Are you able to follow? Yes, management has prepared financial statements. Who has appointed management? Shareholders. Okay, now management said, very good, you appointed us, we run the company, these are the financial statements that we have prepared. Can shareholders rely? No. So that is why shareholders say we appoint management, we will also appoint the auditor. Auditor, you go on our behalf to the company, you check the financial statements prepared by the management, you give us a report, and then we can decide whether to rely or not to rely on those financial statements. Okay, do you understand one reason why an audit is required? Because there is a gap between the owners of the company and the runners of the company. Who are the owners of the company? The shareholders. Who are the runners, the managers of the company? The management. Now, who is the bridge between the gap? The auditor. Who is bridging the gap over there? The auditor. Rather than so many shareholders coming, auditor says, I will go and I will tell you. And regarding the financial performance of the company. Okay, right. So now say example, there is a company Geo Limited. Example. And it's just some random company Geo Limited. Okay, now this Geo Limited wants a loan from the bank. And say they want a loan of the 1,000 crore from the bank. Example. Okay, so now for this loan, the managing director of Geo Limited, he approaches the bank. Okay, now bank says, oh, you want a loan of 1,000 crore, show us your financial statements. Okay, now right now, the real situation is that the financial statements of Geo Limited are showing a loss of 4,000 crore. Example. And a loss of 4,000 crore. अगर सही ईमानदारी से अगर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाए तो राइट नाउ द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स ऑफ Geo, say example, are showing a loss of 4,000 crore. But managing director knows, okay, I will go to bank saying bank give me a loan, and if I ask them for a loan, they are going to ask me for financial statements. And if they ask me for financial statements and I give them these financial statements which show loss of 4,000 crore, they are never going to give me the loan. They are never going to give me the loan. That is why now what the managing director does, when he has to prepare the financial statements, he inflates the value of the assets, है ना? तो सारे asset का liability increase किया, सारी liabilities का value कम किया, revenue over recognition, purchases, expenses अंडर रिकॉर्डिंग, और ऐसा सब करके अब फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट शोन ऑफ द 7,000 करोड़. एग्जाम्पल है ना? तो ओरिजिनल सिचुएशन क्या थी? लॉस ऑफ द 4,000 करोड़. उसको क्या कर दिया? जादू. प्रॉफिट ऑफ द 7,000 करोड़. ये जादू को क्या बोलते हैं? विंडो ड्रेसिंग, है ना? विंडो ड्रेसिंग टू शो अ बेटर फाइनेंशियल पोजिशन देन व्हाट एक्चुअली इज. टू शो बेटर फाइनेंशियल पोजिशन देन व्हाट एक्चुअली इज, है ना? टू शो बेटर बाय अप्लाइंग बटर, है ना? टू शो बेटर बाय अप्लाइंग द बटर, है ना? दैट इज व्हाट दे हैव डन. विंडो ड्रेसिंग to show better financial position that what actually is, by overvaluing the assets, under recording of liability, inflating the revenue, under recording of purchases. What they have done? Converted plain rice to biryani. है ना, प्लेन राइस था बिल्कुल। अभी प्लेन राइस खा के देखो, बोलेगे यार इसमें कोई टेस्ट ही नहीं है, ये कैसा है। फिर उसमें थोड़ा कैश्यू नट्स है ना, काजू एंड कैश्यू नट्स एंड अनियन एंड फ्रेंच बीन्स एंड कैरेट एंड एवरीथिंग यू पुट, देन यू से नाउ वेरी नाइस, वेरी गुड, बिरयानी मसाला, व्हाट दैट एवरेस्ट मसाला यू पुट एंड एवरीथिंग, फिर अब मजा आ गया। Okay, right? So like that. Now he knows. With these financial statements, if I go to the bank showing profit of 7,000 crore, will bank be willing to give me the audit or the loan of loan of 1,000 crore? Yes. So managing director, what is the situation that I am assessing? Managing director wants a loan of 1,000 crore. So he knows that if I go to the bank, bank is going to ask me for financial statements. Actual situation to what lagi hui hai? There is a loss of 4,000 crore. So they know that if I have to get a loan, I have to show the better position. That is why she prepared financial statement showing a profit of the 7,000 crore. So now with these financial statement showing the profit of the 7,000 crore, now the managing director goes to the bank and showing these financial statements having the profit of the 7,000 crore. Now will the bank be willing to give the loan? Yes, bank will say, Acha, who prepared these financial statements? Management will say, I prepared. I prepared financial statements. Okay. They say, did anybody check? They said, nobody checked. Well, go and get them audited. We are not going to rely on these financial statements. Go and get them audited. Now managing director again duvidha mein. Hi Ram, first I thought if I prepare showing profit of 7,000 crore, I thought they will give me the loan, but now again they are saying audit. So then he remembers, oh Ram, one of my brother, he is a chartered accountant. है ना. सो देन ही कॉल्स, अरे बहुत अपना बिजनेस प्रॉब्लम में है, अभी थोड़ा बैंक का लोन चाहिए वगैरह, तो इसीलिए बैंक गए, तो बैंक बोलते सीए का रिपोर्ट लेके आओ, तो थोड़ा देख लो, है ना, प्लीज लिटिल बिट सी. ओके, सो नाउ ब्रदर सेज नो प्रॉब्लम, है ना, तुम लेके आ जाओ ऑफिस में, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हम देख लेते हैं, रिपोर्ट दे देंगे, है ना. तो अब फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में क्या है, profit 7,000 crore, है ना. ब्रदर के ऑफिस में there are articles and employees and all of that, they start checking financial statements. He says, अरे भैया इसमें तो बहुत फ्रॉड एरर है, तो बोलते हैं अरे भाई, है ना. देन ही विल लाइक व्हाट इज दिस, यू नो, अगर भाई भाई के काम नहीं आएगा तो कैसे दुनिया चलेगी. तो बोले कोई बात नहीं भैया, ठीक है, आई विल गिव यू ऑडिट रिपोर्ट, नो प्रॉब्लम. Now again he goes to the bank. बैंक क्या आपने बोला था, रिपोर्ट लेकर आओ सीए का, ये देखो रिपोर्ट लेके आ गए, है ना. एंड अगेन नाउ प्रॉफिट ऑफ 7,000 crore and also the audit report. What is IAR? Independent auditor's report. Okay, now my bank asks, who prepared these financial statements? He says I. Who gave this report? Bole brother. Bole get out, get out. You cannot get your financial statements audited from a relative. You understand? No, you cannot get them. It has to be an independent auditor's report. This is not independent because there is subjectivity, there is bias, there is possibility of bias. So that is why what they say, we don't want any bias in the audit opinion. We want an independent third party to express an opinion. Independent, who should not come under the pressure, under the influence of the management, or be scared, you know, while expressing his opinion. That brother is scared. There is a fraud of 7,000 crore. That profit is not right. 7,000 crore. Brother should have said it. But then we said, no, my brother is in trouble. How I can say a bank will not give loan of 1,000 crore. So that is why they say we don't only want audit report. We want an independent auditor's report. Okay, right. So anyways, I hope you understand what is the necessity of audit also. And it's like getting your financial statements branded. And that is like the concept of getting the audit done. Okay, so now anyways, the point which we have reached to so far, financial statements, who prepares? Management. To prepare financial statements, management follows the accounting standards in AS IFRS, which has been issued by the ASB, the Accounting Standard Board of the ICAI. Now CA has been appointed to do the audit of these financial statements. CA, he is the auditor. So management, I can also call them as the auditor. T, and a CA I could call him as the auditor, है ना, the CA or the auditor, chartered accountant, है ना, the chartered accountant. Okay, so now auditor, when you do the audit, now I am coming to a very important audit term over here. Okay, management, when you prepare financial statements, you have to follow the management. When you prepare the financial statements, you have to follow the accounting standards. Auditor, when you do the audit of the financial statements, auditor, when you do the audit of the financial statements, auditor, you need to follow the SA, that is the standards on auditing, right? Auditor, you need to follow the SA. What is the SA? The standards on auditing. And who has issued the standards on auditing? Now the double ASB of the ICAI. What is the double ASB? The Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of the ICAI, right? The Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of the ICAI, right? So management, they have to follow accounting standard. Auditor, you have to follow the standards on auditing, and standards on auditing. You follow, everyone? Okay, initially before 1980s there were no auditing standards. Okay, but in 1980s the Auditing Assurance Standard Board was created, and then after that, first time जब originally auditing standard issue हुए, तो that time they were called as the SAP, the Statements on Auditing Practices. I'm telling you the history of the auditing standards. They were called as the Statements on the Auditing Practices, right? Originally when the auditing standards were issued. Then after that, they were renamed to be called as the AAS. What is AAS? Auditing and Assurance Standard. So when I wrote my CA Inter and CA Final, that time we had the AAS in our syllabus, Auditing and Assurance Standard. Like in 2006, I finished my Inter, and 2008, I did my CA Final. So that time in our syllabus, we had the AAS, the Auditing and Assurance Standard. And AAS, right? And now these auditing and assurance standards have been renamed to be called as the EQCS. What is EQCS? Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Engagement and Quality Control Standards. And under this EQCS, one of the variety is the SA, that is Standards on Auditing. Right? So originally it was SAP, then it became AAS. Now instead of AAS, you have the EQCS, Engagement Quality Control Standards, जिसके 5 प्रकार है. एक टाइप उसका जो है वो है SA. क्या 5 प्रकार है? I'm going to tell you, but slowly, one by one. है ना? तो ओरिजिनली जब इंस्टीट्यूट ने स्टैंडर्ड्स इशू किए थे, तो देयर वर स्टेटमेंट्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस, SAP 1, SAP 2, SAP 3, SAP 4. फिर उसके बाद जब मैंने अपनी एग्जाम्स लिखी थी, तो इट वाज AAS. So like we used to have AS1, we used to have AAS1, AS2, AAS2, AAS3, AAS4, AAS5, like that. But now they have renamed all these auditing and assurance standard to be called as the Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Are you all with me? Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Very soon this quality control also, they are going to rename it as quality management, because they say you can't control, you have to manage. But that is still under the exposure draft. Right now it is called as the Engagement and the Quality Control Standards, right? Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Okay, EQCS. Everybody please pay attention. This is a part of chapter number 1. Engagement and Quality Control Standards. Okay, right. In the engagement, it says there are 4 types of engagement which can be performed by a CA. In the engagement, है ना, जब आपको ऑडिट करने के लिए अपॉइंट किया गया है, so you have been engaged to do an audit. है ना. So engagement, so one, you could be engaged to do an audit, or you could be engaged to do a review, or you could be engaged to do an assurance engagement other than audit or review, or you could be engaged to provide the related services. What is all this? I am coming to it shortly, but somewhere I have to start with it, है ना. तो एंगेजमेंट, एज अ सीए मुझे क्या क्या काम के लिए एंगेज कर सकते हैं क्लाइंट? टू डू द ऑडिट, टू डू द रिव्यू, टू डू द other assurance other than audit review. What is each of this? I am going to discuss with you. या तो client might appoint me for doing some related services. Okay. So now client can appoint me. Client, you understand? Client auditee, है ना? The client, okay. They can appoint me to do audit, review, other assurance और related services. कुछ भी काम करने के लिए अगर अपॉइंट किया, but should I maintain quality in my work? कैसा है कि ऑडिट में क्वालिटी रखो, रिव्यू में नहीं रखा तो भी चलेगा, रिलेटेड सर्विसेज नहीं. In all my work, do I have to maintain quality? Yes. So for that we have a quality control standard. So for that we have a quality control standard, right? Quality control, SQC. What is SQC? Standard on quality control. Standard on quality control, SQC. Standard on quality control. Now, when I am appointed to do an audit, when I am engaged by my client to do an audit, I need to follow the standards on auditing. When I am appointed to do a review, I need to follow the standards on review engagement. When I am appointed to do other assurance, I have to follow the standards on assurance engagement, right? The standards on assurance engagement. And when I am appointed to do the related services, I need to follow the standards on related services. Right? Standards on related services, right? So you have the SA. What is SA? Standards on auditing. Then SRE, which is standards on review engagement. SAE, which is standards on assurance engagement. SRS, which is standards on related services. And SQC, which is standard on quality control. So SA, SRE, SAE, SRS and SQC. You see all the yellow colors? Engagement and quality control standard. For quality control, SQC, standard on quality control. Whatever be the type of engagement, कि या तो मैं audit करूँ, या तो review करूँ, या तो assurance, या तो related services. Quality तो बनता ही है. Quality तो always has to be maintained. So that is called as the mother standard also, standard on quality control. And then engagement, you have 4 types of the engagement standards. What are the 4 types of the engagement standards? Standards on auditing, standards on review engagement, standards on assurance engagement, standards on related services. So when you are appointed to do an audit, you will follow the standards on auditing. When you are appointed to do a review, you will follow the standards on review engagement. When you are appointed for an assurance service other than audit or review, then you will follow the standards on the assurance engagement. And when you are appointed to do the related services, you will follow the standards on the related services. Okay. In total, 46 engagement and quality control standards have been issued by the ICAI. 46 engagement and quality control standards have been issued. In that, you have 38 standards on auditing, 2 standards on review engagement, 3 on assurance engagement, 2 on related services and 1 quality control. So see if the total is coming to 46. SQC है ना 1. SQC का एक standard. So 38 plus 2, 40. 40 plus 3, 43 plus 2, 45, and one standard on the quality control. Right? One standard on the quality control. Can I write it one more time? See, engagement and quality control standards. What are the engagement and quality control standards? SA, SRE, SAE, SRS and SQC. How many standards on auditing? 38. 2, 3, 2 and 1. That is the breakup of the 46 engagement and quality control standards. That is the breakup of the 46 engagement and quality control standards. Okay. Out of this 46, introductory to सारे का है, but out of these 46, 29 standards on auditing and 1 standard on quality control is applicable for your CA inter-audit syllabus. Out of this 46 engagement and quality control standards, 29 standards on auditing and 1 standard on quality control, that is 30 standards is applicable for your CA inter syllabus, and obviously all 46 applicable for CA final. CA final में जो इंटर के 30 है वो फिर से कॉपी पेस्ट, प्लस यू हैव लाइक द रिमेनिंग 16 also applicable for CA final. Right? So one of the more technical part of the audit subject जो रोना धोना होता है वो यहाँ होता है, कि जो standards पे आता है, because obviously standard है तो you know it has to be technical stuff and it has to be the technical content over there. But yeah, this is where what we also have in our syllabus. Then you say, ma'am, what chapters you mentioned, उसमें तो कहीं आपने बोला ही नहीं कोई standard, है ना? So now those standards are integrated into the discussions of the chapters. These standards ka discussion, like when I study the chapter number, like, you know, if I come to the content of the book, okay, right, if I come to the, this is the same book which has been given to all of you, this is the list, है ना? अगर आप पहला देखो chapter 0, उसके बारे में तो हमने बात ही नहीं की, okay, right, that is chapter 0, list of standards and important terms. So there you see the list of these 46 standards given over there, right? जैसे SQC1 जो मैंने आपको अभी बताया, है ना? फिर उसके बाद now you see this auditing standard SA 200. So you know, one of the inter class I started teaching and then I said the first auditing standard that we will study is SA 200. तो वो student को, मैडम 200 standard है? नहीं, 200 देख के ऐसा लगता है ना कि 200 है, नहीं, वो शुरू ही 200 से होता है, it goes up to 4000. Okay, right, so it goes up to 4000, but it starts only with 200. Then there is a question, ma'am, line से क्यों नहीं है? जैसे earlier it was AS1, AS2, AS3, AS4, but now they have kept it as SA, because just for every standard on auditing, है ना, अगर ICAI ने, ICAI के ऑडिटिंग अश्योरेंस स्टैंडर्ड बोर्ड ने स्टैंडर्ड ऑन ऑडिटिंग इशू किया है, यू हैव द इंटरनेशनल ऑडिटिंग एंड अश्योरेंस स्टैंडर्ड बोर्ड व्हिच फर्स्ट इशूज द इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग. इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स, और एक बार इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड इशू हुआ कि उसका कॉपी पेस्ट करके नेशनल स्टैंडर्ड इज प्रिपेयर्ड. तो इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड में इन्होंने ये सीरीज का कंसेप्ट क्रिएट किया है कि all the basics will be in the 200 series, all the evidence will be in 500 series, audit report will be in 700 series. Like you see 200, then I told you all evidence का is in the 500, then all the audit report is in the 700 सीरीज. जैसे पहले है ना सिर्फ 700 705 होता था, फिर उनको मन में आया कि अरे नहीं, एक की ऑडिट मैटर का भी होना चाहिए, तो नाउ देयर इज अ स्कोप ना कि 700 705 के बीच में 701 डाल दिया. So they can introduce 1, 2, 3, 4. If you keep it in a line, you don't have the scope to introduce any new standards over there. So here they have the margin, you know, like they can put a 702, 703, 704 and all of that, 705, 706. Right. So now at inter level, do you all have the books with you? Okay. Right. So this is the first, like we have to make a list of 30, na? So SQC1 is so applicable for you. है ना? SQC1 applicable, then 200, 210, 220, 230. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 40, 50 not applicable at inter level, right? Then 6. Are you with me? Right, so SQC1 पे मैंने क्या लिखा? Number 1. फिर उसके बाद 200, yes, 210, Yes. 220, yes. 230, yes. 40, 50, no. Right? Then after that you have the, right, 260, 265, 299, yes. And applicable for CA inter 9, 10, 11, 12, 402, no, and then 13. Right? So yeah, 402, no. तो अभी तक मेरा 13 तक आया है total. I hope yours also comes till 13. You're with me? C1, SQC 1, then 2, 200, 3, 210, 4, 225, 236, 267, 265, 8, 299, 9, 310, 315, 11, 320, 12, 330, 13, 450, 14, 500, 15, 501, 16, 505, 17, 510, 18, 520, 19, 530, 540, not there. अपने मन से लिखना मत चालू करो. Right? 19, 540, not there. So 19 is 530, 20, 550, 21, 560, 22, 570, 23, 580. Then 24 is 600, 25 is 610, 620, no. 620, no. And then 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. 720, no. Right, so these are the 30 standards. I told you one standard on quality control, very good, SQC, and 29 standards on the auditing. Right, 29 standards on the auditing. Yes, I can make a list for you other ways. Okay, you know, SA 240, 250, 402, 540, right? Then after that the 620, 720, 800, 805, 810, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are not applicable. है ना? टोटल कितने ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं? टोटल कितने ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं? 38 standards on auditing. Out of that, how many are applicable for your exams? 29 standards are applicable. So these are the 9 standards which are not applicable. है ना? ये जो 9 मैंने लिखे हैं 240, 250, 402, 540, 620, 720, 800, 805, 810, not applicable. You understand? You follow now, everyone? You can tell me if anything you don't follow. Right? So total 38 standards on auditing है. अपने एग्जाम के लिए उसमें से सिर्फ 29 applicable है. तो जो 9 applicable नहीं है उसका हमने एक लिस्ट बनाया यहाँ पे. And then, but do we have an introduction for SRE, SAE, SRS also? Yes. That all introduction is covered in chapter number 1 itself. Right? So the introduction, भले SRE एग्जाम में नहीं है, but SRE किसके related है? SAE, what does it talk about? Whether that is there in your syllabus? Yes, that is there in the syllabus. Okay. Right? So everybody, have you understood this very important term? Engagement and quality control standards. Engagement and quality control standards. So CA final में तो बच्चियां मतलब 46 standards. Just imagine. And they have the 46 standards to be studied over there. Engagement and the quality control standards. So let us again come to the ICAI website. Right. So ICAI. If I come to the ICAI website, here you see the resources and the engagement and quality control standards. Do you see SQC? Right, SQC 1 and then 200 series, right, the entire standards of the 200, 500, 600, 700, 800. फिर ये देखो SRE, है ना, 2 standards, SRE 2400, 2410. Then you have the other assurance, 3400, 3402 and 3420. And then the standards on the related services, where only 2 standards on the related services are there. And again, institute also has a committee, a board called as the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, right? They have the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of the ICAI. Right, so all these auditing standards, audit working paper, checklist on standards on auditing, guidance note on audit of bank, implementation guide, technical guide on digital assurance. Right, so they've also given a technical guide on the digital assurance. In our chapter number 3, we also have a discussion regarding automated environment. Okay, how to do the audit in the automated environment. So anytime you want the details, of anything, this is the place to come to. And the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. Where am I? Committees, ICAI committees, non-standing. In that you have the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board. Okay, right. So there you see all this contents, and you see the different committees which have been made of the ICAI. Right, the non-standing committees over there. Right, they also have the committees for the digital. They also have the digital, the digital accounting and assurance standard board of the ICAI. Right, so a lot of new initiatives, and even institute has implemented their chat GPT for student queries and all of that. Right, so a lot of positive. They've put their concept paper on RPA, concept paper on blockchain technology. Right, then so many report on automation and finance function. Right, again institute has tied up with some Hyderabad firm wherein they've come up with a software for doing audit. Audit software. Just Tally is an accounting software. They've had a tie-up for some audit software called as Any Audit. There's a software, so it is 400 rupees per user per month. That is the charges. And there are many other audit softwares also there. But just as there is an accounting software like Tally or Oracle or SAP, like that there is also the audit software, because by Reliance jaisa audit not possible to do it manually. You need to have some audit software over there for conducting the audit, right? You need something called as the CATS. Have you heard CATS? Computer Assisted Audit Techniques. And a computer assisted audit techniques. Okay, right. So this is where you look into. Then you also look into the various, courses offered by the ICAI. Many students, even after they qualify, they don't know that these are the additional courses provided by ICAI only. And regarding forensic accounting, fraud detection, CSR, business responsibility. But you say, ma'am, abhi CA final to padhne do, fir ye aage dekhenge. So theek hai, but at least you know what is your further achievements, further things that you can do over there, right? So engagement and quality control standards, right? So CA management, when you are preparing financial statements, you have to follow the management. When you are preparing the financial statements, you have to follow the accounting standards. Auditor, when you are doing the audit, you need to follow the standards on the auditing. Can you tell me why are standards required? Audit jaise karna hai. Uniformity, like why? What uniformity? What uniformity are you talking about? Like, can you give me an example? I know standardization means uniformity, but like what? Like a good example of uniformity could be I do my audit. After I finish my audit, I have to issue an audit report. So audit report हर कोई अपने हिसाब से बनाएगा. You understand? No, everybody will prepare in their own format. But now can you prepare it in your own format? No, there is a format given by the standards on auditing, SE 700, where the format of the audit report has been given. So you'll say, अरे नहीं KPMG का report ज़्यादा अच्छा रहता है. अरे नहीं Deloitte का format ज़्यादा अच्छा है. सबका format same ही रहेगा. You understand? No, if your accounting is a problem, you get your audit done from any of them, the report is going to be the same. Right? So there is a standard format of the report. When auditor is appointed, auditor needs to issue an engagement letter. So what should be written in that engagement letter? There is an auditing standard. When you do an audit, you have to obtain audit evidence. What evidence I obtain? Auditing standard. And so for everything over there, there is a uniformity, a standardization of the practices which has been brought by. Okay. Right? You know the big fours? Obviously. What are the big fours? Right? Deloitte, KPMG, EY, yes, PwC, right? These, no, PwC, Deloitte and KPMG and EY, right? So these are the big fours, and they say their India revenue is coming to some 32,700 crore. Right, so yeah, big four get bigger. Combined revenue of EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC crosses 32,700 crore. Right, so that's a huge potential, right? Lots of earnings. So it's like, you get your audit done from a big four. They say we don't do any audit which is less than 50 lakh. And their starting is, the range only starts over there at 50 lakh plus. Like Reliance and all, they charge 40 crore audit fee. Right? And the same audit, you get it done from a small firm for 4 lakh rupees, they are happy to do the audit for you. So again, it's just the quality of the services. Right? So a lot of thoughts would have already started developing in your mind regarding, articleship and whether I should do big four and small. Whether you should do in big four, don't think of that question. Think of whether a big four will take me. You don't think that as if big four अपना दरवाजा खोल के द्वार खोल के बैठे कि तुम कब आओगे. You see your dreams, but then you also prepare yourself accordingly. No, big fours are receiving 4,000 CVs and they have 20 vacancies. Right? And then not very sure to what extent Jack works and how big is your Jack, and वो Jack के पास भी कितने Jacks आते हैं. So it's a different consideration altogether. It is a good thing to do your articleship in the big four, but it's not the only thing, and obviously everybody can't do it over there. Right? So rather than I saying that you dream like नहीं मेरे को तो big four में articleship करना है, you say मुझे अपने आप को capable करना है. Okay, I am, they call me for the articleship. Certainly they want both because they're spoiled for choices. Why should they compensate for anything? उनके पास अगर 4,000 CVs are coming and they have 70 vacancies or 20 vacancies over there, why are they going to compensate? Why they will? Obviously their first requirement is both group cleared first attempt. Right, one of their first requirement is both group cleared and first attempt, and obviously in that too a ranker and all of that. Okay, right. So yeah, you keep it in your mind, but then as we proceed further in the class, I will tell you regarding the big four, mid-size and everything. But I can say okay, for me it has worked out very good that I did my articleship in Deloitte, that I was 3 years in the start audit department over there. And now when I later on practically started teaching the subject, I could correlate, wo office में ऐसे करते थे, that articleship. So since that time, it has been a very good imagination for me regarding the practical aspect of it. Yeah. Right. So I cleared my foundation. That time it was P1, P2 and final. So P1 I cleared in 2005. Right. I got 299. I think merit was at 300, but doesn't matter. If you qualify in first attempt, that itself is a self-given merit. Okay. So 299 I got. Then after that, 2006 I cleared my PE2. I think I got some 294, and that time I missed by merit by 10 marks. So it was 304 or something. But again, something I don't remember like that. It was 394 I think, then 404. Yeah, 394. Aajkal to matlab, I had come first in my school. Like I was telling it to the team also yesterday. I had come first in my school and I had got 87% marks. आजकल तो लास्ट स्टूडेंट के भी 87% नहीं आते हैं. आजकल तो कंपटीशन कितना होता है, मेरे को 99.96 आया, तुझे कितना है 99.95, 99995, 99994, तो ये तो 99 की लड़ाई है. And I'm like, okay, I think I am in some dinosaur time where 87% I got first rank in my school. Okay, right? So it's a different changing times. Okay, so then in 2006, I completed my CA inter, and then I started 1st August 2006, I started my articleship in Deloitte. November 2008, I wrote my CA final exam. Jan 2009, I cleared. There, I don't know, somehow the All India rank 24 came, right? Because it came exemption in almost all of the subjects and everything, right? So that was January 2009. So then my articleship got over on 31st July 2009, क्योंकि हमारे टाइम तो 3 साल का articleship होता था, है ना? So then between Jan 2009 to July 2009, I was a qualified CA doing my articleship. Because already November 2008 में मैंने मेरा एग्जाम लिख दिया था. Jan 2009 में result had already come. I had already qualified, but my articleship was still remaining. Right, so I remember first year in Deloitte, they used to give me stipend of 5,000. Second year, I used to get a stipend of 10,000. Third year, it was 15,000. And then after January 2009, till the time of July 2009, I finishing my articleship. That time they used to give me a stipend of 43,000, right? So it was a wonderful, huge amount. I don't know, like now the scales might be more different regarding the stipend and all of that. And then after that, since September 2009, I've started teaching, and then till today, students are still tolerating me, so it's going on, okay. And then recently, I've also started teaching inter-strategic management, because I think that anything which is theory, I can manage to teach. Practical subject, I think I cannot do a fair job with it, but yeah, theory I can. I can manage to teach. Okay, right. So that's about me, more about my study experience and how to plan and everything, and that I will mention about it as we proceed further in the class. Okay, right. So is everybody clear about the term engagement and quality control standards? तो ये नाम ज्यादा लिया नहीं जाता है, हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं 30 स्टैंडर्ड्स, ये हम लोग स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑन ऑडिटिंग ही बोलते हैं, क्योंकि मेजर चंक तो 38 किसका है, auditing standards. So nobody goes into the detail like it's engagement and quality control standard, but that's the true reality. Okay, engagement as a CA, what are the 4 types of engagement you can perform? Audit, review, assurance engagement other than audit or review, that is other assurance engagement, and then you have the related services, right? Then you have the related services. Whatever be the type of engagement you are performing, you always have to maintain the quality. So for that you have the SQC, and then standards on auditing, standards on review engagement, standards on assurance engagement, and the standards on the related services, right? So you have the 38 standards on auditing, 2 standards on the review engagement, 3 standards on the assurance engagement, and 2 standards on the related services. Okay, clear to everyone? Right, all good? Okay, right. And out of this, 29 standards on auditing and 1 standard on the quality control applicable. Later on, I'll also make a list and give it to you, okay, which chapter, or which standards we are going to study. Like if you look at the beginning of each of our chapters, so these terms we'll see at the end. Like, if you look at the beginning of the chapter number 2, example, right? So which essay is covered in that chapter is mentioned over there, like essay 300, planning and audit of financial statements. Then if I come to chapter number 3, example, right? Then in chapter number 3, what are the standards covered? 315, 320, 330, it's mentioned. So हर एक chapter में कौन सा standard covered है, पूरा list has been given in chapter number 0. Of all the 46 standards, and then which chapter, which standards are covered, that series is given in the beginning also, and we can also later on make a list regarding the same. Okay, right. So far we've understood the term financial statements, TCWG. Now let us try to understand one more term over there called as the stakeholders. Right? Not shareholders. I'm talking about the stakeholders. Have you heard this term, stakeholders? जिसको पढ़ी है ना, who have something to do with your organization, they are having some monetary, non-monetary interest in your organization. Can you mention a few stakeholders? Creditors, employees, okay, employees के साथ ही let me write trade unions, okay, stakeholders, investors, government, third parties, ये सारे ही तो third parties है. Related parties, okay, any of them could be related parties. Bankers, okay, bankers, financial institutions. Then bankers, I can also call them as the financial institutions. और बताओ, members, shareholders, very good, वो तो सबसे important है. Competitors, okay, they could also be, interested in looking at your next, step that you're going to take. Borrowers, yeah, that could be bankers, financial institution. Lenders, we could call it as lenders, borrowers. Creditors hai, so you can also mention about the customers, right? The customers of the company, right? Even they would be interested in, directly or indirectly, they are associated with your organization. right? Associated. I can also mention about the insurance companies over here, right? Insurance company. Okay, so now, okay, political, so that's government or so, we can consider. So now, all these are the stakeholders who are concerned, who are directly or indirectly in some or the other way associated with your organization. So now, how could they be interested, or how could the financial statements be beneficial to them? Like creditors, they will come to know liquidity, whether if I give the goods to this company on credit, whether they'll pay to me on the due date. Or employees, bonus, they are not giving me an increase, but whether you're looking at the company's financial performance, they will say, no, you should give us a increase in our wages. Okay. Trade unions, again, for the settlement of the wages. And so investors, whether to invest money in this company or not, they can read and study analyze the financial statements and decide. See, what I am discussing with you, okay, how could the financial statements of a company be beneficial to these different stakeholders? You understand ना? पहले हमने क्या डिस्कस किया कि कौन कौन अलग अलग कंपनी के स्टेकहोल्डर्स हो सकते हैं. वी ट्राई टू मेक अ टेंटेटिव लिस्ट. और हम पढ़ रहे कि हाउ कुड द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स ऑफ अ कंपनी बी यूजफुल टू दीज डिफरेंट स्टेकहोल्डर्स, right? How they could be useful to these different stakeholders, right? So to the government for levying the taxes, or for granting the subsidies, or for giving the government grants. Okay, right. Then to bankers, financial institutions for issuing the loans, for assessing the creditworthiness of the company, right? For assessing the creditworthiness. Shareholders to assess the फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द कंपनी, दैट हमारी कंपनी कैसे चल रही है, क्या हाल है कंपनी का. शेयर होल्डर्स विल कम टू नो बाय स्टडिंग द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. देन कॉम्पिटिटर्स, they come to know the strategies and all regarding the business. Customers, that whether we should continue to do our business with this organization or whether we should shift to some another company, right? So they come to know the customers, right? The credit, what you say, their loyalty towards the organization. Insurance company, why would they need financial statements? Can anybody have that creativity of mind or that what you say, thinking skill? Risk analysis, okay, or bolo? Exactly, to settle the insurance claim. Okay, inventory का insurance cover लिया था, fire insurance cover, and now fire has occurred and inventory destroyed, and now they are claiming the money from the insurance company. So now the valuation of the inventory will have to be done. That will be done on the basis of the financial statements. Again financial statements will also be beneficial to the management. वो खुद बनाएंगे पर वो खुद भी तो यूज करेंगे ना. Why? For the decision making purpose, that whether we should get the strategic choices, growth strategy, expansion strategy. Have you finished SM? No. Okay, right. So that is where we talk about, right, the management for the decision making purposes. Right, for the management, for the decision making purposes. Okay, now all these people, कितना बड़ा list बनाया, कितना list है? Creditor, employee, trade union, investor, government, bankers, financial institution, shareholder, competitor, customer, insurance company, management. Are they just going to rely on the financial statements which management prepared? No. What did we say? वो tick होना चाहिए, है ना? It has to be the audited financial statements. It has to be the audited financial statements. Only then all of these people are going to rely on those financial statements. That is why, what do we say? That audit is a, now again I will draw. Let me see how I can draw it best. I'll draw, then you tell me what does this look like. Oh my God. क्या दिख रहा है? See, my drawing is so, अभी कैसे draw करो? I don't know. What is this looking like? Don't tell me onion tree. Box कुछ, अरे इतना मैंने रैपिंग किया है, ऐसे कैसे बोलते हो? Box, gift box है ना? Correct. So not bad, huh? Okay, right. So audit is a gift. Audit is a gift to the shareholders and the investors. Audit is a gift to the shareholders and the investors. So who is the gift, the G in the gift? The government. Who is the I in the gift? The investor, नीचे लिखा ना, shareholders and investors. So insurance company. F is the, yes, very good, the financial institutions, the bankers, the financial institution. I hope all of you, at least 3 pages you've written in your book so far, or more than that. हाँ, लिखो, थोड़ा लिखते रहो, है ना, ऐसे बिल्कुल, है ना, आलस नहीं करना है लिखने का, राइट. ट्रेड यूनियंस, है ना, ट्रेड यूनियंस अभी लिख लो, नहीं तो अटेम्प्ट लिखने पड़ेंगे, तो उससे अच्छा तो अभी लिख लो, है ना. इंस्टीट्यूट को बोलो जितना लिखवा के लेना है भाई अभी ले लो, मतलब वापस का नहीं रखना. ओके, राइट. सो इट्स अ गिफ्ट टू द शेयर holders and to the investors. G for government, I for insurance company, F for financial institutions, bankers, T for trade union employees, and it's a gift to shareholders and investors. It is a gift to the shareholders and to the investors, right? So government, insurance company, financial institutions, banker, trade union and the employees. Oh, you drawing also like me only. You should draw better, no? Okay, right? You तो didn't draw only anything. Draw no. What is the problem? इतना तो draw कर ही लो ना, जैसे मेरी हालत है उतनी तो रख ही लो, if not better. Drawing class? No, not drawing class, audit class. Okay. Yes, it's a gift to the shareholders and the investors. Why? Because we said just if management prepares the financial statements, can the auditor rely on them? No. So, or can anybody rely on those financial statements? No, they have to be the audited financial statements. So to whom all are these financial statements beneficial to? To the government for levying the taxes, then to the insurance company to settle the insurance claim, financial companies to grant the credit, to give the loans, and then to the trade unions for doing the settlement of the wages, for doing the wage negotiation, and to the shareholders to come to know about the financial performance of the company, because ultimately it's the company of the shareholders. They are the true owners of the company. So they will come to, they are not involved in the day-to-day management of the company. So they will come to know about the performance of the company by looking into the financial statements. And investors, you are a potential shareholder. Who is an investor? He is a potential shareholder. So he will decide whether he should invest in the shares of this particular company or not on the basis of the financial statements of the company. Okay, right? So if we come to our chapter number 1, and if you come to the first question over there, it is regarding the importance of auditing. And this is what we have just finished discussing, the importance of auditing. What you have to remember over there, that it is a gift to the shareholders and the investors. It is a gift to the shareholders and the investors, right? So you see the G, the government, right? Then the I is the insurance company, bank, financial institutions is the F, trade union is the T, and then you have the shareholders and the investors, right? So little bit obviously we've rearranged, but this is how it is given in the study material of the ICAI. And you can't write your general knowledge in an audit paper. Please listen to me carefully. General knowledge likhna nahi hai. What is there in the institute study material, the language, the terminology, same to same that has to come in your paper. You say, ma'am, then what about my practical application? Nothing doing. You just have to write what is there. You understand what is given, and then after understanding, you write this. Right? So, kaise likha hai? Be it investors desirous of investing their money in companies, shareholders anxious to know financial position of companies they've invested in, bankers or financial institutions willing to lend funds to credit-worthy organization, government desirous in collecting taxes from trade and industry in accordance with the applicable law, trade union negotiating with the corporate management for better wages, or insurance companies wanting to settle the property claims caused by fire or disasters. Range of diverse users is equally diverse field, rely upon the audited financial statements. Yes, they rely on the audited financial statements. It is due to this fact that audited financial statements, oh my God, this is such an important word. It provides a confidence and assurance to the users of financial statements who make their decisions on the basis of such audited financial statements. And confidence, assurance to the intended users. कि ऑडिट का रोल क्या? तुम बोलते मैम कैसे आप भरोसा कर रहे हो कि रिलायंस का रेवेन्यू 10 लाख करोड़ है? My confidence, assurance is coming कि no, CA has audited the same. And it gives the confidence to the intended users. You know the users of financial statements, everyone? Yes, we just talked about all those stakeholders. वो stakeholders क्या है? Those are nothing but the users of the financial statements who make their decisions on the basis of such audited financial statements. Is that clear? Confidence, the assurance to the users. And so if ICAI asks the question on importance of auditing, this is the answer that you will write. And the importance of auditing. Thoda aage chalke, little bit ahead, I'll come to the other points. But yeah, you also have a question regarding the benefits of audit. Page number 1.4, benefits of audit. Why audit is needed? What are the advantages of audit? Yes, what are the advantages of the audit? Now, one question they put as the importance of auditing. Gift to shareholder, investor. Can I use that gift over here also? Because what is importance is benefit, advantage also. So same that gift to shareholder, investors, right? It's a gift to shareholders and the investors, right? It's a gift to the shareholders and the investors. Can I use that point over here? Yes. And in addition to that, what does it say? Audited accounts provide the high quality information, right? So you know that whatever information is given in the financial statements, it is high quality. It gives confidence to the users. That's what we said. Now, confidence, assurance to the users. Okay, CA has checked these numbers. That information on which they are relying is qualitative and is the outcome of an exercise carried out by following the auditing standards recognized globally. You know auditing standards? Standards on auditing. The 38 standards on auditing which we mentioned about. Is it becoming easy for you to read what is being given and make sense out of it? Okay, right. So high quality information giving confidence to the users. Then it says in case of the company, shareholders may or may not be involved in the daily affairs of the company. Why? Because they are not running the organization. Who is running the organization? The management on behalf of the shareholders. So the financial statements are prepared by the management consisting of the directors. Shareholders are the owners of the company. They need an independent mechanism so that financial information is qualitative and reliable. Hence, their interest is safeguarded by an audit. Right? So, one again, shareholders, they are not participating into the daily operations of the company. So, they come to know whether the information is qualitative, reliable through the audit. Right. Then, audit acts as a moral check on the employees. Moral check. If you say in Marwadi or say कि थोड़ा धाक रेवन चाहिए, है ना कि थोड़ा है ना ऐसे थोड़ा डर होना चाहिए है ना थोड़ा तशन like that type. Moral check on the employees. Otherwise, what will happen? Employees, they will be like, oh, nobody is going to check what 200 rupee petrol. I will say 400 rupees petrol expense, 200 rupees I put in my pocket. No, they say right now, so I put that 200 rupees in my pocket. But tomorrow when auditor will come, he will check all the supporting. Then management will come to know. Then I will get a firing. Who will do all that headache? So that is why there always has to be a danda. And there always has to be that fear that you might be, the checking might be done and you might be caught. And then you'll have to pay for the consequences. If there is no fear of paying for the consequences, then happily, the people will continue to do the fraud. So it's a moral check on the employees. And that employees 10 times. That is why when they do the fraud, they plan it very well, no? And they take all steps to hide the error. to conceal. They show as if nothing has been done. You see any of those series on this Netflix and all of that, that murder and all that happened, and then after that एकदम ऐसे कोई वो किसी को मार के फिर वो बॉडी कहीं ओशन में डाल देते हैं या कहीं उसको खोद के कहीं डालते हैं और ऐसे बताते हैं जैसे कुछ नहीं किया है ना. But then after that, later on, that investigator or whosoever, that CID team, they come and then they find out, okay, what exactly has happened over there. So what does it say? It's a moral check on the employees from committing the fraud for the fear of it being discovered by the audit. So that is, it's like, as I said, the most simplest word could be धाक, है ना, कि कुछ डर होना चाहिए. And it's a moral check on the employees. And okay, they will think 10 times, before committing a fraud. And 10, 100 times. Like, say there is an uncle who is working in a Cadbury warehouse. You have my school days mein padha hoga na, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh my God, that chocolate, everything, chocolate river is flowing and everything. Okay, my God, okay. So now, this, he has those old grandparents in the house and then he is taken to the chocolate factory for the visit and all. Oh, it's so in a fantasy world. Okay, right. Anyways, तो अब ये अंकल है, ये कैडबरी के वेयर हाउस में काम कर रहे हैं. My God, क्या क्या चॉकलेट्स आती है कैडबरी का? डेयरी मिल्क. अब डेयरी मिल्क का ही रेड वेलवेट, ओरियो, मूज एंड क्या क्या वैरायटी, एंड देन देयर इज पर्क एंड 5 स्टार एंड जेम्स, कलरफुल जेम्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, एंड बॉर्नविल एंड देन सो रोस्ट आलमंड एंड सो मेनी. अब ये अंकल के 7 चिल्ड्रन आर देयर. ओके, अंकल क्या है? वेयर हाउस मैनेजर इन कैडबरी. एंड अंकल हैज 7 kids. Every day when uncle is leaving for office, बच्चा are saying, पापा आज मेरे लिए वो बड़ा वाला डेयरी मिल्क लेके आना, वो बबली सिल्क वाला लेके आना, वो क्या अभी चॉकलेट डेयरी मिल्क ब्राउनी आया है ना. Is it a chocolate? Is it a brownie? Oh, it is both. That's what. तो बोलते हैं, तो अभी फिर पापा ऑफिस जाते हैं वेयर हाउस में, फिर उसके बाद ही ईट्स द टिफिन, फिर वहीं पे टिफिन को साफ वाफ कर लिया, थोड़ा सुखाने के लिए रख दिया, फिर उसके बाद अब जाने का टाइम आ गया तो सारे कबर्ड से, सारे बॉक्सेस से चॉकलेट्स निकाल दिए, टिफिन में डाल दिए, फिर टिफिन पैक कर दिया. फिर इन्वेंट्री के रिकॉर्ड्स वही मेंटेन कर रहे हैं, तो इन्वेंट्री के रिकॉर्ड्स में लिख दिया एबनॉर्मल लॉस ईटन बाय rodents अकाउंट, ईटन बाय रैट्स अकाउंट, है ना, eaten by rats, abnormal loss, है ना, quality check not passed, ऐसा सब लिख के manipulate कर दिया, and then everything taken away home. And then the moment he enters home in the evening, 7 kids come running out, and then he says, oh, each one of you, I got a chocolate over there. Okay, अरे ऐसे कैसे चलेगा? ये तो ठीक है, चॉकलेट है वो कंपनी में डायमंड होते तो ऐसे डायमंड उठा के लेके जाते, तो कैसे, हाउ विल द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रन? आज बीवी ने ये सॉलिटेयर मंगवाया, आज बीवी को ये हार पसंद आया है, तो कैसे चलेगा? तो यू से मैम अगर ऊपर वाला नहीं देख रहा है तो क्या हुआ? सीसीटीवी कैमरा तो देखता है ना. You understand? No, there is CCTV camera. That is why when you go to a mall, you see when those employees are entering into the mall, when you're coming out of the mall, when the employees, they do the frisking of the employees. They check their bags and then after that they allow them inside and out. Why? Because there is always a possibility that a fraud could be committed. And they always say, no, prevention is better than cure. So that is why they always put the controls in place. कि CCTV कैमरा है, इन्वेंट्री रिकॉर्ड्स है, मेकर चेकर कंसेप्ट है. इतना सब करने के बाद भी क्या लोग फ्रॉड कर सकते हैं? Yes. तो उसके लिए at least one more water check is over there, that the auditor, when he comes for the audit, that the fraud could be discovered. Then audited financial statements are helpful to the government authorities for determining the tax liability. So that is the G of our gift. Then audited financial statements can be relied upon by lenders, bankers for making their credit decision, whether to lend or not to lend to a particular entity. Today we said that managing director, he went to the bank and said, give me a loan of 1,000 crore. So the bank, on the basis of the audited financial statements, they can decide whether they should give the loan or no. And then an auditor may also detect. So also detect. It's not said will detect. They say also detect fraud or error or both. Why? Because detection of fraud and error is not the primary objective of the audit. And a prevention, detection of the prevention and or detection of the fraud or error or both and or error is not the primary objective of the audit, is not the primary, that's not your main bread and butter why you do the audit. Why you do the audit, I'll come to that shortly. And okay, what is the overall objective? SA 200, we come to that. But चलते चलते audit करते करते क्या auditor को fraud error भी मिल सकता है? Yes. है ना, auditor may also detect fraud or error or both. That also is very important over there. Right, so now what does, and then after that auditor reviews the existence and operation of various controls operating in any entity, and hence it is useful for pointing out the deficiencies. तो यहाँ पे अलग points क्या है? Controls, you check the controls and you come to know the deficiency, high quality information which enhances the confidence, and then I think the also helps to detect fraud or error. और ये सारे point तो अपने give to shareholders, investors से है. And okay, it is the shareholders. Then after that, employees, which I can call it as the trade union point. And a trade union types, but moral check on the employees from committing the frauds as it may be discovered. Then the government authorities, financial institutions, and then also to detect fraud, error, and the controls operating and the deficiency. Right? And the controls operating and the deficiency. Is that clear to everyone? Right? So have we completed 2 questions over here? Importance of auditing and the advantages, the benefits of audit, why it is needed. And so that it gives the high quality information, the confidence to the intended users, then to the shareholders. After the shareholders, they talk about the employees, then the government, then the lenders, bankers, and then high quality information, also detect fraud, error or both, and also check the controls and also point out the deficiencies. Right, pointing out the deficiencies. Okay, right. So if you look at this particular book, right, I certainly told them that they asked me whether it should be color notes. I said it has to be color notes, right, because this particular book itself, you can use it in 3 styles. What are the 3 styles you can use this particular book as? One, you study the entire book as it is. The entire contents of the book as it is. Second, if you only want to look at the question and answers, then at the end of each chapter, you have the exhaustive list of all the questions related to that particular chapter. Agar direct chapter ka reference hai, to the reference has been given, and if it is something additional which is to be written, that has been mentioned over here. So you say, ma'am, मुझे MTP, RTP, suggested ICA Institute study material का question देखना है, तो पूरा मतलब अभी तक का जितना questions are available, all of that has been given. And now institute has 2 types of question, test your knowledge and test your understanding. So test your understanding is little bit of the practical application based question. So even those questions have been given over there. तो एक तो तुम पूरी book पढ़ो, दूसरा अगर तुम्हें सिर्फ क्वेश्चन देखना है तो यू लुक इनटू द थ्योरेटिकल क्वेश्चन एंड द टेस्ट योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग पार्ट, और तीसरा तुम्हें सिर्फ रिवाइज करना है ना, लाइक यू जस्ट वांट टू डू अ क्विक रिवीजन, यू वांट टू स्टे इन टच विद द सब्जेक्ट, क्योंकि आउट ऑफ साइट आउट ऑफ माइंड, सो दैट इज व्हाई यू वांट टू look into the subject again, but you have so many subjects to tackle with, तो इतना पूरा डिटेल रीडिंग करने का टाइम नहीं है, बट एक नजर मारनी है सब्जेक्ट पे. तो ये जो भी रेड कलर में मार्क किया है, if you read that, then this book also works like a compact revision for you. If you read only the red color markings or whatever markings you are going to, अभी already book colorful है, उसको थोड़ा color करते वक्त ध्यान नहीं रखना. Okay, but yeah, then this you can use it in that manner. So I told you 3 things. This book can be used in 3 fashion. Number 1, you read the entire book, pura question, pura the theory, everything. Second, you can only go through the question bank to check how much am I able to, answer or get the right questions, answers over there. And third, if I only want to do like a quick revision of the subject, then for the quick revision, what I can do, right? I can just go through these red color markings and I should be sorted. Only go through these red color markings. Okay, right. So that is where we completed the importance of auditing and also the benefits of audit, why it is needed. Now we come to the next one, the origin of audit. So now I start preparing my list for the chapter number 1. So everybody, what you have to do, leave this page blank so that we keep on writing on this particular page, right? So you start writing, then you keep some space blank after it. So first, what we've studied, importance of auditing, right? Importance of auditing, what did we study? It's a gift to the shareholders and the investors. Then after that we studied the benefits or the advantages of the audit, right? The benefit or the advantages of the audit. And again, what did we say? We can take help of, it's a gift to the shareholders and the investors. But additional point, we say that it gives the high quality information. It enhances the confidence of the intended users. Then we said it is also a moral check on the employees, that the fraud may be, they have the fear that the fraud may be detected. And auditor, he also reviews the controls in the company. So through by reviewing the controls, he will come to know the deficiencies, the weaknesses in the internal control. So that is my point number 2. And so likewise, rest of the page, maybe 1 or 2 page, you leave it blank, so that the entire summary of the chapter also we prepare. है ना? तो अभी ये 2 पॉइंट लिखे ना आपने, इसके बाद 1 या 2 पेज ब्लैंक छोड़ दो, और जैसे हम लोग कोई टॉपिक डिस्कस करते हैं फिर वापस यहाँ पे आके उसका कंडेंस्ड वर्जन लिखना है. फर्स्ट चैप्टर इट माइट टेक टाइम, सेकंड चैप्टर ऑनवर्ड्स यू विल कैच द ग्रिप. You follow, no, what I say? You write the summary, keep on preparing the summary of the chapter also. Okay, then one more thing that, okay, you're writing this. Right, so now say this is your notebook, okay, right? Say this is your notebook over here. These are the pages of your notebook, right? So say this is page 1, page 2, page 3. This is your notebook, okay? And then you also have your textbook with you, right? In the textbook, where is the discussion of importance of auditing? 1.1. फिर वो benefits of auditing कहाँ पे है? 1.4 है ना. Benefits of auditing is on page number 1.4. Okay, so please see over here everyone. This is my notebook, this is my textbook. Okay, now in the textbook, where is benefits, importance of auditing given? Page number 1.1, and the benefits of audit have been given on page number 1.4. Now in your notebook, say regarding this you've written on page number 4. Example, कि आपने ये जो इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ ऑडिटिंग है इसके बारे में वो जो गिफ्ट ड्रॉ किया है वो कहाँ ड्रॉ किया है? ऑन पेज नंबर 4. सो ऑन द पेज नंबर 4 यू विल गिव अ रेफरेंस टू टेक्स्ट बुक 1.1, है ना, टेक्स्ट बुक पेज 1.1, एंड इन द टेक्स्ट बुक यू विल गिव रेफरेंस नोटबुक पेज 4. नोटबुक पेज 4. तो नोटबुक के पेजेस को नंबरिंग करना पड़ेगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 पूरा एंड तक, या फिर चैप्टर वाइज विचएवर. और नोटबुक में टेक्स्ट बुक का रेफरेंस देना है और टेक्स्ट बुक में नोटबुक का रेफरेंस देना. नोटबुक में टेक्स्ट बुक का रेफरेंस देना है. जैसे नोटबुक में यहां मैंने इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ ऑडिट लिखा, अब इसके रिलेटेड टेक्स्ट बुक में कंटेंट कहां है? टेक्स्ट बुक पेज 1.1, और टेक्स्ट बुक में ये कहां है? पेज नंबर 1.1. इसका नोटबुक में आपने कहां लिखा है? आपने जहां पे भी लिखा है वो नोटबुक का पेज नंबर का रेफरेंस दीजिए. I don't know whether I have been effective to communicate, but if you have not understood, please ask me. है ना, कि टेक्स्ट बुक में नोटबुक का रेफरेंस और नोटबुक में टेक्स्ट बुक का रेफरेंस. अंडरस्टूड? दिया क्या? सुनना नहीं, सिर्फ लिख देना भी है. और ये I will not continue to tell this always. This protocol you have to follow for the rest of the discussion. कैसा रेफरेंसिंग देना है? You follow everyone? टेक्स्ट बुक टू नोटबुक, नोटबुक टू टेक्स्ट बुक. और दूसरा देखो, अब ये चैप्टर है ना, एट द एंड ऑफ द चैप्टर ये इसके क्वेश्चंस है. ओके, अब इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ ऑडिटिंग का कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है, बट बेनिफिट्स ऑफ ऑडिटिंग का क्वेश्चन है क्या? यस, देयर इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 which is regarding the benefits of audit. Question number 9 on page number 1.15 which is regarding the benefits of audit. तो जहां पे भी मेरा benefits of audit लिखा हुआ है, जहां पे भी मेरा benefits of audit लिखा है, there I will write down question number 9. जहां पे मेरा बेनिफिट्स ऑफ ऑडिट लिखा है वहां आई विल राइट डाउन क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 कि इसके रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन क्या आता है, कैसे क्वेश्चन का ड्राफ्टिंग होता है, मेरे को देखना है। तो मुझे पता है कि इसका क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 है। कोई ऐसा होगा कि लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ऑडिट, जैसे नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है, इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ऑडिट का टॉपिक है, उसके अगर तुम क्वेश्चन बैंक में क्वेश्चन देखोगे regarding limitations of audit, तो you see question number 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 है ना, all 18, so 12 to 18। तो फिर inherent limitations of audit के हम वहां क्या लिखेंगे, question number 12 to question number 18, all regarding the inherent limitations of audit। तो पता रहेगा, मतलब इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस के रिलेटेड कैसे क्वेश्चंस आए एग्जाम में, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैव कम, सो देन आई नो दीज आर द क्वेश्चंस आई एम सपोज्ड टू सी। आई होप आई एम क्लियर। वन थिंग आई टोल्ड यू, यू हैव टू मेक अ रेफरेंस फ्रॉम notebook to textbook, textbook to notebook, that is one। you have to, I will not continue to tell you, but you have to do that। And second, whenever we study the question bank and then the टॉपिक है ना, तो वो टॉपिक के अगेंस्ट लिखना है कि इसके रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन बैंक में क्वेश्चंस का, जैसे इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ऑडिट वी हैव क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 to 18 व्हिच इज रिगार्डिंग इनहेरेंट लिमिटेशंस ऑफ ऑडिट। एंड लेटर ऑन, अभी तो वी स्टडी इन अ वेरी ग्रेजुअल मैनर, लेटर ऑन व्हेन यू हैव टू रिवाइज द एंटायर सब्जेक्ट एंड देन देयर इज $1 million क्वेश्चन के हाउ टू रिवाइज द एंटायर सब्जेक्ट 1.5 day बिफोर द एग्जाम, सो देन दैट टाइम ऑल दिस हेल्प्स है ना। ये जो नोट्स बना के रखे हैं, रेफरेंसिंग करके रखा है, हाईलाइट करके रखा है, सो देन ऑल दिस बिकम्स वेरी वेरी बेनिफिशियल एट दैट टाइम, राइट। सो राइट नाउ टाइम फॉर अस टू टेक अ ब्रेक, 15 minutes break, and then after that we continue। Okay।